Absolutely bombed and taken out by MS-25. That's 2 down for AV Tigers, and their aggression has not really paid off, as now they will get overwhelmed by the members of Freedom Rumble. Your boy was going to be the third one on chopping block. Comstas gets down as Arpav will take Red Panda down. Your boy was the last man alive, and it seems like Freedom Rumble will be forfeited for sure. Shaw's trying to help out, but isn't going to run into 3 different crosshairs.
Run, my boy.
Not good for Shaw. They're going to try and gun them down. In fact, they will. Shaw's down. MS-25 picks him up, and now MS-25 pushes on forward. Excel with the third one, and Shot will be eliminated. Catch up to Geek Fam. Can they do it? They got one down. Calls at the window. They're rushing in. They're gonna take out Comp. Dries goes for a rotation, but he takes himself out. Comp down. Sits in. AKO. Not gonna make it. They haven't seen him yet, but now they do. Mr. D trying to survive this one versus 2. Turns the rock.
Oh, wow!
Takes out both. The old barrel explosion.
As well as Hazik, but we've seen this duo move in, and Duweezy gets eliminated, and Balore goes in for the Black Cobra, and it looks like the Blacklist International are gonna be on a handicap as well. But Divinity, look at them, trapped all there in that hut, all alone. They have got their friends in there for the support, and even Geek Fam can't take them out just yet. White Face knocked down by the play zone, but they are still going in here for the final battle. Hafiz! But he doesn't get taken down. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Hazik goes in here for the wipe. Divinity still standing up. Guns are on the knock right now. Husky Pandemonium.
Geek Fam on a roll. They might just get this. His views is already out. Divinity not gonna survive. Batman is still there. Geek Fam with 2 men left. The right fast group. And my Blacklist International about to get eliminated as Geek Fam continues to survive. The Kings have returned. And Geek Fam nails their first booyah of the grand.
It's time to watch the MCP Major Season 2. Let's go!
That's 2 down for AV Tigers, and their aggression has not really paid off, as now they will get Comstas gets down, as Arpa good for Shaw. They're gonna try and gun them. This is it! AKO! Not gonna make it!
Oh, wow!
Takes out both! Geek Fam continues to survive. The Kings have returned.
Sign up now for the MCP Majors in-game qualifier.
Triple kill. Shut down. Latte kill. Latte kill.
3 days to go.
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 There is 3 more days.
Armatu Tindin. Are you ready?
¿Estás listo?
Adakah anda sudah bersedia?
Are you ready?
Are you ready for it? Are you ready? 你准备好了吗？
هل أنتم جاهزون يا أساطير لعيد ميلاد فري فاير الرابع؟
Let's tune up for the party.
Let's turn up for the party.
Tune up for the party.
Let's turn up for the party.
Let's tune up for the party.
Let's tune up for the party.
3 days to go.
Are you ready?
喂，哪里们？不呀！
Absolutely bombed and taken up by MS-25. That's 2 down for AP Sligers, and their aggression has not really paid off, as now they will get overwhelmed by the members of Freedom Rumble. Your boy was going to be the third one on chopping block. Comstas get down as Arpav will take Red Panda down. Your boy was the last man alive, and it seems like Freedom Rumble will be forfeited for sure. Shaw's trying to help out, but this is going to run into 3 different crosssets.
Run, my
That is
boy.
not good for Shaw. They're going to try and gun them down. In fact, they will. Shaw's a down. MS-25 picks him up, and now MS-25 pushes on forward. Excel with the third one. And Shot will be eliminated. Catch up to Geek Fam. Can they do it? They got one down. Calls at the window. They're rushing in. They're going to take out Comp. Dries goes for a rotation, but he takes himself out. Comes down. This is it. AKO. Not going to make it. That is international. They haven't seen him yet, but now they do. Mr. D trying to survive this one versus 2. Turns the rock. Takes out both the all-barrel explosions.
As well as Hazik, but we've seen this duo move in, and Duweezy gets eliminated, and Balore goes in for the Black Cobra, and it looks like the Blacklist International are gonna be on a handicap as well. But Divinity, look at them, trapped all there in that hut, all alone. They have got their friends in there for the support, and even Geek Fam can't take them out just yet. Whiteface knocked down by the play zone, but they are still going in here for the final battle. Abyss! But he doesn't get taken down. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Hazik goes in here for the wipe. Divinity still standing up. Guns are on the knock right now. Husky Pandemonium!
Geek Fam on a roll. They might just get this views already out. Divinity not gonna survive. Batman is still there. Geek Fam with 2 men left. Survive fast group. And my Blacklist International about to get eliminated as Geek Fam continues to survive. The Kings have returned. And Geek Fam nails their first booyah of the grand.
time to watch the MCP Major Season 2.
Let's go.
That's two down for Aries Tigers, and their aggression has not really paid off. As now they will get Thompson gets down. As Alpha good for shots, they're gonna try and gun them. This is it! AKO! Not gonna be!
Oh, wow!
Chase out both! Geekman continues to survive. The King can return.
Sign up now for the MCP Majors in-game qualifier.
Triple kill. Shut down. Quadruple kill. Quadruple kill.
Three days to go.
3 days to go.
3 days to go.
3 days to go.
3 days to go.
There is 3 more days.
Armato Tindin, are you ready?
¿Estás listo?
Adakah anda sudah bersedia?
Are you ready?
Are you ready for it? Are you ready? 你准备好了吗
هل أنتم جاهزون يا أساطير لعيد ميلاد الفري فاير الرابع؟
Let's tune up for the party.
Let's turn up for the party.
Tune up for the party.
Let's turn up for the party.
Let's tune up for the party.
Let's tune up for the party.
3 days to go.
Are you ready?
Wait anime! Booyah!
Absolutely bombed and taken up by MS-25. That's two down for Aries Tigers, and their aggression has not really paid off, as now they will get overwhelmed by the members of Freedom Rumble. Your boy was going to be the third one on chopping block. Thompson gets down as Arpav will take Red Panda down. Your boy was the last man alive, and it seems like Freedom Rumble will be forfeited for sure. Shaw's trying to help out, but isn't going to run into 3 different crosshairs.
Run, my
That is
boy.
not good for Shaw. They're going to try and gun them down. In fact, they will. Shaw's a down. MS-25 picks him up, and now MS-25 pushes on forward. XL with the third one. And Shot will be eliminated. Catch up to Geek Fam. Can they do it? They got one down. Calls at the window. They're rushing in. They're gonna take out Comp. Dress goes for a rotation, but he takes himself out. Comp down. This is it. AKO. Not gonna make it. Back international. They haven't seen him yet, but now they do. Mr. D trying to survive this 1 versus 2. Turns the rock.
Oh, wow!
Chase out both. The all-barrel explosion.
As well as Hazik, but we've seen this duo move in, and Dooeasy gets eliminated, and Balore goes in for the Black Cobra, and it looks like the Blacklist International are gonna be on a handicap as well. But Divinity, look at them, trapped all there in that hut, all alone. They have got their friends in there for the support, and even Geek Fam can't take them out just yet. White Face knocked down by the play zone, but they are still going in here for the final battle. Happy! But he doesn't get taken down. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Hazik goes in here for for the wipe. Divinity still standing up. Guns are on the knock right now. Husky pandemonium.
Geek Fam on a roll. They might just get this views is already out. Divinity not gonna survive. Batman is still there. Geek Fam with 2 men left to right. Fast Group NY Blacklist International about to get eliminated as Geek Fam continues to survive. The Kings have returned. And Geek Fam nil.
Hello and welcome to Day 2 of the MCP Majors Season 2, where we see the 18 best Free Fire teams in the region. My name is Holler, and with me is the amazing and talented Danny. How are you doing today on this fine Sunday?
Oh, it's great. It's a Sunday. We got some more Free Fire matches. And of course, I think the biggest surprise for everybody is we are going to have a map rotation. We're going to be having a brand new map today. And of course, one map has to go. It's my favorite. If you know what my favorite is, then you guys already have a clear idea on what we're going to be expecting for today's games.
Yeah, so it's going to be what? It's going to be Purgatory and Bermuda, and of course, only on those two for today. They've rotated out your favorite, which is, of course, Calamari, and we're stuck with just Purgatory and Bermuda. So I feel like the map rotation is fine. We're going to just change it up. We saw a lot of action yesterday, so it's just been a welcome change. And now that the 18 teams are playing for, what, 50,000 USD, that's no small change. But in fact, what were your thoughts on day one, just overall?
I think day one was a really good introductory day for all the teams. Everyone got a feel of how the groups are. I think we also got a really good taste of what we're going to be expecting for the first half of the season, which is Group A. At first, we were thinking that they were actually going to be the weakest group, but after we saw them play against Group C, I think it's a formidable group, but it comes down to who's playing who, right? So A seems to be weaker if they're playing against Group B. B seems to be weaker when they're playing against Group C, but then C seems to be weaker when they play against Group A. So I honestly am starting to get a feel of it's a triangle right now.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of that, right? And I think overall Group C and the standings will kind of prove this, that they are still the group of death, right? They're the most respected teams. They have what? Supreme Assault Force and Blacklist International. Those are, Fast Kill, Malaysia and Blacklist International in Group C. So they're definitely going to be the strongest ones. You definitely need to worry about that group.
Absolutely. Now, of course, we do need to get the show on the road. I know everyone's ready for the matches, but before then, the players are still getting into the lobby. So let's go over what the teams are going to be aiming for the group stage, which is the wonderful prize pool. Now, this is just the first stage of the league. There's going to be more money coming into this afterwards, but we do need to keep in mind that only the top 12 teams will make it to the next stage. So if you are 13th, if you're placed 13th or below, unfortunately, this is going to be the end of the road. So 12th place is the goal for every team participating. Now, luckily, if you do come in first, you're going to be getting a nice sum of money, $2,000, followed by 1,800 if you're second. And then, of course, it goes down further down the leaderboard.
Yeah, but again, you said it in the sense you need to be top 12, right? If you're not in top 12, you're going home, right? And they're going to give you some cash just to get yourself out the door. Maybe it's your bus money or taxi money just to go home. But at the end of the day, all these teams are looking to play in the grand finals. And there's going to be way more money involved in that one. That's where the most of the money is. So you got to just make sure that you're just strong enough. You save your strats and make sure that you survive this somewhat destroyer of like a league, because it's just so many good teams. But here's what we're talking about. The final stage. First place is 15,000 and it goes all the way down to 400 USD. You got to make sure that you get to play in this grand finale, but then, top 3 is where the money's at.
Oh, it's not even top 3. It's first place, right? First place gets more than half. They get more than double of what second place is getting. Right? So you want that lion's share first place, but to get there, you've got to make it to top 12 over the course of the group stage. And something that a lot of people don't seem to realize when we play these league stages is that even though some teams do fantastic over the course of a group stage, when it comes to the final stage, it's a completely different story because everything is only played in one day, whereas some teams are actually much stronger when they're playing over a longer period of time.
But these days are going to prepare you for this group stage, or this final stage, that is, because you're going to have that access of you're playing against 12 other teams. The maps are going to be there, and you're going to see a lot of tendencies from the other teams in terms of how they play. So the strategy in mind, keeping it there. But I think that at the end of the day, if you can fire your shots, get those kills, that's going to be all you really need to do. But if we're looking at the point system here, first place is your Booyah. It's going to give you 12 points, which is this pretty big step up from second place, which is 9, 8, 7, and so forth. And 11th and 12th, if you unfortunately get eliminated early, you're going home with 0 kills. But in the event that you do get, knocked out a little bit earlier, you're kind of in the middle tier, you get a single point for every single kill you get. And in this game, kills are almost everything. You definitely need to get your kills.
Yeah, even yesterday we saw the kill points actually play out in favor of one of the teams. I remember it was, even though Blacklist managed to get the Booyah, I think this was Blacklist's the Kalahari round. God, you did this to me. Even though Blacklist won and got the Booyah, they only had 5 kills. I do not remember who it was that got second, but the second place team, even though they only got 9 points, they managed to finish above Blacklist because they had 9 kills on top of that compared to Blacklist's 5 kills. So you can tell, even though you get the Booyah, you've still got to get those points and you cannot play passively.
Yeah, you definitely can't play passively, and I don't think you really can, especially with Purgatory and Bermuda.
Yes.
That's on tap for today. It's going to be day 2. You're going to see this. We're going to alternate Purgatory, Bermuda, and it's going to be Group A versus Group B to start things off, and we're going to see fireworks from minute 1.
Absolutely. And something I like about having the Purgatory Bermuda combination is the maps play rather similarly. They're very flat. You don't really get too many hills compared to Kalahari, for example. But I'm not sure if this is just a tendency for the games that I seem to watch, but Purgatory loves to have those final circles over the riverbed, and that causes a lot of issues for teams because they have to have not only luck on their side, but they also need to have the foresight and to think, okay, if this circle ends up going into the water, how do we approach this? And a lot of teams seem to struggle with this mindset.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, right? And so sometimes this lady luck is on your side, sometimes it's not. But if we're looking at what we saw from day 1, right, most of the teams and the top 10 teams, all of these have the most amount of kills, right? I think the average number of kills that you want is about 14. That's like the average. Anything above that, and you're having an above average day. So that's what your target should be going into day 2, making sure that you're about 14 kills. So placement, luck, with lucks with the circle, sometimes that's going to happen, but sometimes you're unlucky. But at the end of the day, if you can hit your shots and you get that magic number of 14, you're going to be above average.
Absolutely. Now, of course, we're going to be moving on to our qualified teams. For anyone that didn't come to the stream yesterday, these are our groups. And I think the general consensus for the panel, I think we all agree that Group C so far, terrifying group.
Yeah, it's a very scared team. Fast Kill, I mean, they had a little bit of an up and down day, but they ended up in what, 3rd place? So Fast Kill really proven to be one of those strong teams. They ended up getting a Booyah. Mind you, 6 different teams, there were 6 different Booyahs. Not a single team got 2 Booyahs or above. Crazy day for day 1.
Yeah, I think at this rate, we just have to wonder who's going to be the first team to start getting those 2 Booyahs within a week, right? Like, so far, it's only been 1, but I think at some point someone's going to break that record. I believe last season we even had a team get 3 Booyahs in 1 day. So the possibility is there, but you've got to be really on form. And I don't think that's possible if Group C is playing, because we have to be realistic. We saw 4 X-Men play out of their minds yesterday. We saw Blacklist International also being able to pull out some clutch plays. And I really think Fast Kill, I'm not sure if they'll be able to get the Booyah, but they have a very good consistency record so far. And then let's not forget, we have Woos, who can be a dark horse in that group.
Yeah, in Group C, I mean, if you're looking at it, you said the teams, 4X-Men, Fast Kill, Woos, and Blacklist. All of these teams, they ended up getting a Booyah themselves, right? So this is the team that you need to be careful about. You got to figure it out. I don't know how they're going to get by in day 2. Yeah. I mean, everybody in Group C has a target on their back, pretty much.
Absolutely. Whereas, like, if we take a look at the other groups, it's a little different. So Group A, I feel like the only team you're really watching out for here is actually Do Easy. There can be a couple of surprise moments. We saw Tactical Intex also being a pretty big factor in those matches. And then if we take a look at Groups B, you've got AKO, you've got Freedom Rumble, who, I mean, Freedom Rumble, they're a little bit of a shaky team, but I feel that this is a team, once they get the ball rolling, terrifying to go up against, especially with their really strong early game.
Yeah, and they're going to do that. But, I mean, you talk about Do Easy, and they had a disastrous day 1. I mean,
you got to wait. Yeah. I know this is a team that's going to come back. Last season, they bombed during the first half, but then afterwards they had that comeback. I know this is going to happen again. You just wait.
Okay. So what is it that they're going to do? Like how, you know what I mean? Why don't they make that change a little bit earlier in the season? Why do we need to wait for the second half of the season for them to do well?
So for some of these teams, it almost feels like they need to feel the competition before they really start to pick up their play style. So in terms of Deweys, they've been getting knocked out really early. And a lot of it comes down to them actually losing their fragger really early. So I feel like if they can patch that issue up and not lose that fragger so quickly, Deweys is actually going to have a better time moving on and actually attempting to get some of these booyahs. But until then, I think they're just going to be not really too much of a factor. For who knows though, they could surprise today. Maybe yesterday was a little bit of a fluke. We've seen teams in Season 1. I think a great example was Geek Fam. I think they bombed out in weeks 1 or 2. They just played absolutely terribly and people thought, wait, this was a horrible team. And then all of a sudden they just decided to come back. So who knows? Maybe they didn't have coffee yesterday.
Yeah, maybe it's the monster drink that they need or whatever it is. But I like your positivity. I like the fact that you're kind of giving them hope and you're all about the underdog going into this one. And I mean, it was just day one. We don't need to like overreact or anything like that. We have a long way to go. There are 11 more days that we're going to have for this league. So there's plenty of time to see growth and these teams really get better and really make the push for that grand final.
Yep. So I'm really looking forward to seeing today's matches. So we're starting on Purgatory, right?
Yep.
Okay, so basically everyone's going to be stepping onto new ground, new territory. And I'm kind of wondering how things are going to change up on Purgatory because I know Purgatory as a map, it's not as fast-paced as Bermuda, right? Bermuda is super fast-paced. You get action from the get-go. Teams are dropping in together when it comes to looting paths. So is Purgatory going to be any different? Is it going to be slower? How do the teams approach this? Because it's the first time everyone's going to play with each other on this map.
And here are the teams to watch. We know that they're going to be 1, 2, and 3. Supreme Assault Forces, they're top of the standings right now with 63 points. Blacklisted International is in second with 61. And Fast Kill Malaysia really picked it up, and they've got 53, and they're definitely within arm's reach of those top 2 teams. This is, again, a team you need to watch out for. They are a never say die team, and they're going to be going in hot and heavy.
Yeah, these guys, they've got a lot of players on their rosters that are so well known in the community. I think everyone knows Blacklist. If you don't know Blacklist, you must be new to Free Fire esports, but welcome aboard, guys, if you are not very familiar with their names. Fastkill MY, if you didn't see the games yesterday, you're going to become fans really quickly because these guys, the consistency is there, and they are so terrifying in that late game.
They're just able to hit their shots. I mean,
their aim is deadly.
Deadly. And I mean, that's what you need, right? They had 24 kills. I mean, this is a team that you do need to, it's even when they were kind of in the 5th or 6th standings on some of the rounds and they didn't have the greatest ones, at the end of the day, they got a lot of kills, right?
Yeah.
And so it's all about kills in this game, making sure you get that as you're going in because those really start to rack up.
Absolutely. I mean, if you didn't catch the highlight yesterday with Shark, yes, they didn't get the booyah for that round, but that guy just smelt blood in the water. He saw the bodies on the ground. He was like, cha-ching, boom, 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 boom. It's so many kills. If they got the booyah for that round, I think that just would have been the cherry on top. But you can see how bloodthirsty these teams are and how some of these teams value kills over placement points, right? Like what Shark did benefited the team so much more because, hey, maybe you didn't get those extra 3 points from the booyah, but all those kills made up for it so much. Yeah,
it's all about the kills, but you know what will help you get your kills? And that is, of course, going to be with skins, right? If we're giving away fiery M10 14 boxes, there's going to be throughout, so please do stay tuned for the stream. We're going to be flashing a code. It's not going to happen right away, but you're only able to redeem that during the timing of the stream. So when I think we're done at about 5 p.m. So that's just going to be a rough timing. So make sure that you do redeem it. It is not a first come, first serve, and everybody can redeem it. So do stay tuned, be eagle-eyed, and try to find that code when it does pop up.
Yeah, sharing is caring. Make sure you share it with the community, okay? No reason to hog. We've got plenty for everybody. Everyone can claim it at least once. So don't forget to come back and check out for the code. And if not, ask your fellow survivors in the chat. Maybe they'll give you a helping hand. Right, guys? Hopefully everyone's nice enough in chat.
I've actually seen that, right?
Yeah.
I saw that on YouTube and some of the comments. People were just like, what's the code? What's the code? What code? And everybody was just passing it out, right? It's a friendly community. It's a great community. And everybody's just willing to help each other out. And if you're paying attention, you're watching the stream, and please do stay tuned because it's as easy as inputting a code. So while the code might be long, that's the hardest part, but at the end of the day, everyone can redeem one.
All right, so moving on, we are going to be jumping into our match very soon with our casters. But before then, should we maybe throw out some of our predictions for the first game that we're going to be seeing? It's going to be A versus B on Purgatory. Now, we have no data outside of what we saw yesterday, but Hula, I want to hear your thoughts. Who do you feel like is actually going to take the game for our first map?
I think I said it yesterday, but Tactical Intex, to me, I feel like they've got a lot of the fundamentals. They're mechanically strong. They're very, very like a top team. I just think they've been a little unlucky in terms of placements. They haven't got that elusive booyah yet, but I think this is a team to watch.
All right, so we've got Tactical Index. Now we also need to remember SAF dominated groups A and B yesterday. So I'm leaning towards SAF, knowing that I'm now on their shoulders. They're probably going to collapse because my predictions are a little bit heavy. So we're going to hear what the casters have to say. Now, unfortunately, AJ isn't here, but we do have the wonderful Neptune joining us, and of course, with our beautiful Beef Mommy. Take it away, casters.
Hey, we're finally here, and it is day number 2. And Neptune, you look so handsome tonight. Actually, everyone, thank you, Danny, thank you, Holler, for actually giving us an amazing intro. You guys really had a lot of insights there. Neptune, since you were on the other side of the cast, you're the Tagalog cast, what did you think of day 1?
Well, day 1 is really up and down. Like what was mentioned earlier by Danny and Holler, they are doing a great job at the start, and some of the teams are doing a great job at the start, and then they fall off as they go into the end. So some of them as well are really trailing back onto the team list, and we just have to find out. Probably it's a strat for them not to move forward early on and hold off on some of the tactics.
Yeah, most definitely. And we are going to be seeing a new map that we haven't seen yesterday, but definitely these teams have been before during the open qualifiers. So Purgatory is going to be an interesting map just because we haven't seen them play it yet. And you already know it's going to be a completely different map. Kalahari is going to be out for now. But you know what? Since we had the predictions, they were talking about predictions, right? Which team do you think out of all of the groups might be able to really perform in this map?
Well, I really couldn't say just yet because, like what I mentioned, from day 1, there's a really difference from the early part and the last part from the performance of the team. So they might be switching it up right now earlier on to this tournament on this MCP majors because it's just day 1 and day 2 that or we're just on day 2, so it's early and they don't want to show off most of their strategical plans right now. They don't want to show that off just yet, and I saw you smiling. I got that one this time.
Oh, by the way, just to give you guys some context, Neptune and I, we casted for the Philippine Free Fire Open, and we always struggled to actually say strategy, and we would always say strategy. And I was like, you know what? I feel like that's a combination between 2 words. It's strategy with strategy. So, you know what? That's going to be basically a thing where the teams doesn't really work out whatever strat they have, so it really just ends up into a strategy. So hopefully all of these teams don't get that bad of a game to have that strategy. But you know what? Let's take a look at what we have for today. This is the map. This is Purgatory. All of your sins need to be washed away for you to be going up into heaven. This is going to be a tricky one just because all of these teams, it's their first time to actually be in here, Neptune.
Yes, indeed. We're going to see a little bit of switch up onto the gameplays that we have compared to yesterday because they haven't played this on MCP Majors just yet, and this is the first time we'll be playing against all the teams on Purgatory. So we'll have to see as to where are they going to land right now as we see the flight coming from Mount Villa going into the fields and on the northeast, but a lot of teams has already jumped in onto the land, Beef.
Yeah, everyone's already jumping in, and the flight path is going to be interesting because all of these teams already pretty much spread out. I'm not quite seeing any teams that are kind of close by to one another, so best believe it's going to be a little bit of a passive start. But speaking of a passive start, PXG is definitely one team that you kind of don't want to mess around with, but then no, actually they land just basically against Argon. That's going to be very difficult for the side of Argon just because of how well PXG can do, but no, they were able to actually get a lot of these guns first, and Insanity is going to be down. Barba's going to be the only one left. What an upset.
Oh my god, Barba is in there. Well, there you go, PXG Radicals, as do we have high hopes for them because they've showed us a great show from a previous day, but right now they have been taken down early in there, and well, it's just a loss for PXG Radicals. Hopefully they be able to come back on to the next games. But we're looking at AKO right now, and we have one down already from their team, so we'll have to find out if will they be able to survive going against ITX right here.
Auto knockout. Just have one person knocked out, but they still can't do anything with these 3 players. You know what? I just want to dwell upon what just happened to PXG. I literally just said, yeah, maybe it's going to be a little bit more passive, but no, it's not the case. 2 people are going to be out for auto knockout, and Tactical Index is going to be eliminated. Taken and MG. They're going to be doing a good job of, retaliating, but 2 men down so earlier on, they need to change their plays.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this from the gameplay from yesterday. AKO was able to eliminate the team and also was left with 2 members. So they have to change it a little bit so that they will have more members surviving an engagement and end up at the end of our final circle probably taking at least the first place despite of losing a member.
Yeah, despite losing 1 member, we already saw such greatness already. And a lot of these teams, it doesn't really matter. You just have to change up your strategy because if you are going to be down 1 person, you just can't be as aggressive. We saw a while ago, though, Fast Kill MY, they were down 1 person early on in the game, but that didn't really matter. They were able to even get the second. And honestly, Shark with popping off, it's just how many kills already? It was like multi-kills after multi-kills, really just hanging back and picking up every single kill like a vulture from the other teams. And now, another team that's going to be very impressive here. But you know what? Something that's really impressive with SAF is that Purgatory is actually their weakest map out of all the 3. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to be performing here.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them play Purgatory from the Philippine Open, and right now I think they made already those adjustments that they need to do, especially to survive, because this is a different team that they are fighting against, and we'll have to find out, did they learn from their mistake from that engagement, from those engagement, and carry it over on MCP Majors. But right now we're looking at the map, and like what Beef mentioned earlier, apart from those who has eliminated early, the teams are still spread out in here, and in a few seconds we might see them get closer to each other the moment that the circle is shown. And there you go, the circle has been shown going in onto the northeast of the map.
Well, I know Danny said a while ago that the final circle might be in, the waters, but sadly we don't get to see that now, but I really want to see it later on because I love me having a final circle in the water. Just seeing everyone scramble and swimming, that's something that I really want to see. Just, it provides more entertainment for us casters and for the viewers as well, but then that's not going to be fun for all the teams that's playing right now, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, it's entertaining because you try or you look for a way, you think of a way for them. How are they going to survive this? Having a water in front of them, or having them apart with waters like what we've talked about from the previous matches that we've seen. But right now, we'll have to find out how will this work. We have in here Purgatory, wherein this time they will be landing on the next circle with all those lands and covers.
Yeah, you need to really just get that cover, and it's going to be difficult because you only have 3 players right now. Oh no, Do Easy is going to have a really hard time. Do Hard, maybe, but you know what? With the right strategy, Do Easy might have an easier time, but they need to play it right. They need to play it passively, and it just seems like they are doing so. Then they need to stock up with all of their weapons because it seems like they're a little bit lacking on that end. They need to go in there, play a little bit passively, and if they have to engage, then maybe they can do so, but they need to get that cover. They're not going to be having that though, but then luckily for them, no one's going to be a little bit near them. Again, I really want to talk about Neptune. What happened to PXG? It's like they came into the competition so hot, especially with that first Booyah yesterday. They opened up the crowd so well in Bermuda, but now it just doesn't seem the case here in Purgatory. They went 6 feet underground.
Yeah, I mean, we know PXG that they go all in every time they have a team against them. Even in early engagement, the moment they got gone, they just go in and push. But I think this rest that they have before the MCP majors, they did a little bit of thinking as to how to play it off on this MCP majors, and we've seen them. They are great on close engagement, but unfortunately this time I think they were hesitating to go in for the aggressiveness on the early part of the game, and they just lost it at that point.
Yeah, actually, you know what? They went overly aggressive. They dropped into a place where they knew there was going to be another team, where they could have just went into another area and looted, but then, unfortunately for them, Argon just went there a little bit too early, but then another engagement is going to be coming up here. The Freedom Rumble not going to be able to go inside, though, so they're going to have to go in for those grenade plays to really just get rid of Do Easy. They might have an easier time, though, just because Do Easy is having that one person down, so they do have the man advantage.
Yes, indeed, and this will be a 3v4 battle as Duisi has lost one of their members just at the start of the game. But we mentioned earlier that Duisi might be doing a different tactic right here, being a little bit of passive. So if they will have a chance, they might be just running away if they will not be pushed. But I think it will be a different story as Freedom Rumble right now is just rushing them in, looking for a way to find them, and they are going away. Duisi right now, if I'm not mistaken, they are running and trying to disengage from this battle.
I don't think they're running away. They're stuck inside that building right beside him. And they're going to be, actually, I'm not quite sure if they're separated. No, they're actually going to be staying there. We're going to see Freedom Rumble, though. They're going to be slaying it out. They really want those kills. And especially from yesterday, they'd been doing good, but not enough for them to actually get to the top. From what I believe, the fact that they were at the middle of the pack and Freedom Rumble was basically 8th place, right? So they did such a good job in the beginning, but just struggled in those late games. And this is the type of team where you kind of need to look at them in the earlier games, but they need to change their strategy once they get into the late circle.
Yes, indeed. I mean, there will be a change of strategy right now. And, well, Do Easy, as we mentioned earlier, or as we talked about previously, normally when you lose a member, your tactics change. And having lost already one before the game starts, I think they're going in for the defensive. But right now, we have Argon right now going in here against XBR. XBR's just stuck in here on this area, on this tower, and the rest of the teams are just jumping in, and a grenade will be thrown right here, but just in time the glue wall will be put up just to prevent them from being hit. But one has been taken out. Two has been taken out, and here comes the rush, and Argon right now just dominating XBR at this point. There's only one member remaining from XBR, and we have Argon right here just rushing in, but all those coppers are in there trying to prevent them from going in. It's now Pandemonium in there. XBR Evos is going in trying to defend themselves, but it will not work as they will be dominated by Argon MY.
Cannot take it, and they just stay there, just a bunch of mice in the cheese trap. And basically the cats are going to be Argon. They've been doing so well. They eliminated 2 squads already. PXG and XBR are going to be saying bye-bye, and oh my goodness, this is a completely different team that we saw yesterday. Argon was struggling. They were at the bottom of the pack, but then it seems like they were able to kind of pull through. They are 18th place. They only had a total of 3 points from yesterday, and now Purgatory seems to be like their map. This is their hometown, and that's going to be impressive because we keep saying yesterday that you don't want to go into those towers bunched up like a squad. Just it takes 1 or 2 grenades for your whole squad to be wiped out, and I don't even know why they were there in the first place because there's so much space already for them to move around, but sadly they just stayed there.
Yeah, I mean, it is a difficult position for them at that point. And we mentioned about Argon, how they are doing well at this point. So probably it's a change of the map, or they just know what they need to do to move up on the ladder. Because we've seen the overall standings from yesterday, and like what you mentioned, they're not doing that well. And this is a chance for them to just move up, show themselves on to or against all the teams that are here, that we are here. Argon MY is here, and we're here to stay.
They're here to stay and to slay with 8 kills already to their name. That is absolutely crazy. That is as much as everyone else here, everyone else is actually struggling. Even Saf is going on in a little bit of a more passive approach, but it doesn't really matter. We'll see, because this is their weaker map, but let's see with the late game. Hopefully, we get to see a lot of those actions coming on, but Argon doing such a great job here in the early games, and hopefully they don't get a little bit too aggressive where they will be picked off one by one. It seems to be like they're going to be caught in the crossfire right now, 2 teams, so that's going to be very dangerous for them.
Yes, indeed. I mean, we have Bloody Heads in there just passing by. I think Bloody Heads has learned their lesson. They won't be rushing that easily, but near them is another team. Now, talking about Umbrella in here, they are also started day 1 slow, but right now, hopefully, they'll be able to come back. They're going against Do Easy, another team wherein they were looking such great potential for this day, and hopefully, we'll be able to see them pop off as well. So this is some of the teams at the bottom of the rankings right now. Who wants to move up to the ladder?
Do Easy seems to be like they keep running into trouble. The first time was going to be Freedom Rumble, and now it's going to be Umbrella. And you know what? This is going to be difficult. They were able to go out the first time. Not quite sure if this is going to be the case. Just because downhill, they need to go uphill. And guess who's uphill? It's going to be Umbrella, absolutely giving every one of these teammates the shade. And it's going to be very difficult for them to pull through just because you need to get into the hill. And then speaking of the hill, they're going to be having a lot of gunfights ensuing. Umbrella, Do Easy, they're going to be able to get eliminated. Umbrella does the job just like that. Oh, there you go. You know what? That was a foresight into the future, just because uphill, every time a team tries to go uphill, they usually, lose.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm not quite sure if they're losing some energy just moving uphill in there, and then plus the engagement. But Do Easy not not very lucky at this point. I mean, it's already day 2. They have a chance to switch it up, but they started it off with missing 1 member and then being eliminated early into this game. And we're still seeing some of the teams on the passive side, and not that much aggressiveness apart from Argon in there. So like to see how SAF will be revolving around this day, because they did great on day number 1, but right now they're too passive at this point.
Yeah, they just want to be safe. I mean, they want to get that top dog, but at the same time, you need to be able to get those points. I feel like they're just positioning themselves well enough into that final circle where they will be having and engaging a lot of these shots, but then in a smart way. But then speaking of a really smart way, this is not going to be a smart engagement, as Freedom Rumble is going to be on top of that hill. EMX, on the other hand, they're going to be in trouble just because we see such an amazing slay here, and they're not going to be able to actually go and pick up a lot of these kills quite yet, just because the glue wall action is going to be coming on.
Yes, indeed. I mean, what a hit by Cobbs in there, and that's a Kobe from Cobbs in there, taking 1 from EMX. Enigma's in there, already losing a few of their members, and they are stuck on that corner. Shots after shots after shots are coming from Freedom Rumble, and Seth Squad will be taken down as well on the other part of the map, going against Argon once again, going in as the leader. Now we have EMX, only 1 Vito, the only guy who's always surviving EMX at this point. The question is, will they be able to get away from this engagement?
It's very possible that they can do so, just because we see here Freedom Rumble is going to be disengaging. That's going to be smart for them, because they're taking a lot of shots as well, so they're not going down without a fight. So speaking of going down without a fight, Saf finally popped off, finally getting that kill, and it's going to be dangerous right now for Freedom Rumble, just because we see here they're getting shots from behind and up front, so that's going to be very dangerous. I feel like Enigmax can actually get that comeback if they can.
Yeah, I mean, if they move forward against Freedom Rumble, and while Saf is going for them, yeah, they might get a little bit of kills in there, but 2 members left from Freedom Rumble right here. Ren right now trying to go against Damon, but Damon with a double vector going in for the push, and now it is 1 left, but no, Freedom Rumble will be going down from the hands of Saf.
Saf is finally awake, and the Giant is stepping on its foes. The David, they're basically going to be running away right now. The Goliaths, as this team, especially with Argon on the other side, already taking out Akko. It's not going to be very easy. Auto knockout is not going to be able to push through. And there's only 1 team which is going to be in that center of this little map here. Bloody Head seem to be like the RNG gods is going to be on their side when everyone else needs to go in for the push. They're going to be there waiting. But hopefully Bloody Heads, they've been having a really rough start, especially from yesterday's matchup. I know they're going to be in that top 15 spot, but it doesn't really matter because we saw Argon absolutely popping off.
Yeah, I mean, they're top in the leaderboards right here, and they are going straight ahead against Bloody Heads. While Bloody Heads are shooting back. Now, here we go. We have Mark in here on our sides, and they're just on the center of everyone. And I think they learned their lesson. They don't want to be taken out, especially if they're not confident to go in for the engagement, early on engagement. So they are going in for the placement. And we have Umbrella right here. No, we have a Morgana right here trying to go in on those picks, and this is their chance. They are getting those kills already and just waiting and gatekeeping anyone is going into the circle.
You see EMX just hit a person from Umbrella going out of the zone. He basically just flew and Morgana just got the pick like a vulture up in the sky. And here we go, speaking of Morgana, big kills. Takes out Enigmax finally. And there's going to be 4 squads left here in the mix as we are going into our final circles into the 6th. And it's going to be 27 seconds left as the circle is going to be closing in. And it's going to be game time right now for Morgana as she is actually going to be one of the more essential players, especially going into the late game.
And we know Morgana. Morgana is an aggressive type. He always goes in first for the team. But right now, I think Morgana is backing off, knowing that there's 2 members in there from Umbrella, and he needs some help from the rest of the teams in here who's just recovering from those battles from all sides. I mean, they are being shot right now from from different sides right here, not just from Umbrella, but also from Argon as well as Saf, who might be going in there as in a few moments.
That was a very smart play from Morgana, knowing very well didn't want to engage. But then, speaking of, Argon's going to be eliminated. Saf is actually going to be able to eliminate the top dog, but then a lot of kills. And this is what we're seeing with Saf doing such an amazing game at the very late stages with 9 kills already to their name. And then just like that, they're going to be closing in. Just one by one, Bloody Heads is going to have to go down the hill going up against a team like Saf. 2 more teams here. It's going to be Bloody Heads versus Saf. And Bloody Heads is going to be one of those top tier teams that can actually go in for the killing spree.
Yes, indeed. I mean, we have to see this because Bloody Heads is not doing great from previously, but right now they are doing good, and they are against the top dogs of this MCP Majors. Now, Saf right now is going in for the rush. They don't want to be that passive anymore, and this is the late game. They all buff up, and Bloody Heads will be taking down Saf in there, taking the first booyah of the day.
God dang it! Saf did such an amazing job, and yes, they did that on purpose. They positioned themselves so early on, not getting a lot of these kills, no, not being a little bit too aggressive, but this is where you're going to be seeing the Supreme Assault Forces absolutely taking everyone down. Let's go McRory, Toxic, Daymoon, and Forbids doing an absolutely great job at cleaning everyone up and bringing them back into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did their homework already. We mentioned that this is not their map. Purgatory is not their map. And they did their homework and they were able to take the first booyah of this game. And they did great. Passiveness and then a little bit of aggressive mid-game. And then they go in for a full aggression on the final part.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? This is what I like to see for a team. The fact that Purgatory was their weakest link. They only had like around 4.5 average kills for that map. And now they have like how many? I wasn't able to actually see the tally, but from the last time I saw it was 9. So it was probably double digits already by then. Let's Go absolutely just popped off. Then speaking of popping off, let's take back our lovely host to bring down and just really analyze what happened in our first matchup.
Thanks,
hello,
guys.
hello.
Oh, feels good to be back on the panel. Hold on, that was a crazy match. If anything, I have to say, if I wanted to describe it, the game was chaos.
But I'm kind of thinking that every game is like chaos, right? I think we saw that a lot. I mean, we saw Argon Malaysia. They had 8 early kills. They seemed to be dominating quite early. I mean, yeah, they had a really big step up from day 1 to day 2. But yeah, that team was kind of getting out of control. What are your thoughts on that one, Beef?
Oh, Argon really had a great job in that early game, but honestly kind of expected it. They were going in for the aggression, going in for the kills, but sadly they weren't able to kind of utilize the positioning at the very end where Saf was already planning it out. Even before, they were basically like 6 steps ahead out of everyone, positioning themselves into that final circle where Argon was just trying to get those kills, slaying it out, and unfortunately not getting the position kills. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. They got so many frags, and I'm hoping that this is enough points for him to climb up the ranks.
All right, great. And if we're looking at PXG Radicals, this is a team that was top 4. They were 4th place. Neptune, what are your thoughts on this team getting eliminated 11th? And what do you say to this team?
Well, these are PXG Radicals are not the PXG Radicals that we've seen previously. I mean, they are the unorthodox team who goes in for the vehicle gameplay and early engagement kills. But right now, I think they tried to mix it up a little bit and got surprised and weren't expecting that fight early on, and that's where they lost.
Now, I want to put the spotlight onto Bloody Head because I know yesterday it was a really, really tough day for Bloody Head. Now, they didn't get the booyah. It did get snatched away by SAF, but I'm going to ask Beef this one. What do you think changed for Bloody Head in this matchup so that they didn't get knocked out so early?
That was very unfortunate to see, just because they were there in the circle early enough, and yes, Saf kind of had to maneuver around into that last circle. But Bloody Heads, I think they were just a little bit too passive there. We saw a really good play for Morgana where he basically just disengaged, knowing very well there were 2 players there. That was good, yes, but when that team was eliminated, and there was only 2 members left, and it was going basically Saf versus Bloody Heads. They went down the hill, basically going towards Saf, and that's basically it. It's just the RNG gods kind of favoring Saf just a little bit, knowing very well that they were already placed there in the circle to begin with.
All right, this question's out to Neptune, but SAF, they're pulling away, right? And you happen to be in part of one of the Group C, the Group of Death, and you're a team outside looking in, and you're seeing that SAF is kind of running away with this, at least in the Group A, Group B phase. What are you looking into? Like, strategy-wise, are you looking at where they're dropping? Like, what sort of insights are you getting from just watching this team right now?
Yeah, it's basically on how they start the game. Like what we've seen earlier, we saw them as a passive team. They are not really getting into any engagement, despite of hearing any gunshots. They're just waiting it out and probably waiting for the next circle. And like what Beef mentioned, it's more of the positioning that they want to go into and not go into the engagement unless they're very confident. And on the last part, they know that they have their backs onto the zone, and no one will be backstabbing them, so they have a chance to go in against anyone in front of them, and thus being able to eliminate most of those teams.
All right, I'm going to ask Neptune, then Beef. All right, by the way, let's jump into highlights really quickly. Next map is going to be Bermuda. All right, familiar map. These teams, they have played this map already. Do we think it's still going to be this SAF domination? Because I think we just have to... A and B have been dominated by SAF. I think that goes to that question. Is it just going to continue, or is something going to have to change so that teams have to deny SAF so much freedom in this late game?
Yeah, well, in here, I think they just need to find out where SAF is dropping, especially in Bermuda, since they've seen them plenty of time in Bermuda, so they would be able to know if where they usually drop off, and if they cut them off and confident enough to go in for the engagement and take them out early, and that might be the end for the reign of SAF. But I doubt it, because they have changed it so much onto these games.
And I love the fact that Argon Malaysia, you just saw this massacre that they had in this tower that was just absolutely crazy here. I mean, they're running with 8 kills. I think they ended up with 12 kills at this point. I mean, they got themselves second in the round, right? Mind you, this is the 18th place team, right? Is it a gaming chair? Is it a better phone? What exactly is happening? What are they doing right now? Beef, this one's to you. Like, how are they playing so much better?
I mean, Danny already said it a while ago. It's probably the coffee. This team just woke up from 6 feet below the ground and just absolutely brazed everything out, eventually getting out of these kills. And honestly, that's so impressive to me to see the difference of one team that is basically facing adversity.
Now, here's the standings for our first game of the day. And SAF, no surprise, these guys ended up their last match with so many kills. But Argon MY finishing 4th, but they had got 12 kills, which lands them in 2nd place, and 19 points is a lot of points to work with, especially if you're in 2nd place. That's almost the equivalent of having an average game but getting a booyah. So Argon MY are going to be very happy with themselves. This is actually going to propel them way up on the leaderboard. Now, in terms of SAF, they also had a dominating game. I'm not sure if anyone can catch them. If SAF just keeps playing like this in Group A, I mean, who even has a chance, guys?
Yeah, I mean they just need to find out what's the weakness of SAF. We mentioned earlier Purgatory is a weak point for the maps inside in terms of SAF, but no, they have changed it right now and they know this is their weakest and they just try to go in slowly into a good position and then just get back into the game.
Yeah, and I feel like we need to kind of give Supreme Assault Forces in Argon and Malaysia a little bit of a heads up in the sense that, hey, sharing is caring. You can't be stealing all those kills. Because look at the number of kills, 15 and 12, right? I talked about it earlier in the pregame in the sense that, hey, if you've got about 14 kills, that's above par for the rest of the day. Right, you've already hit that mark at Supreme Assault Forces. Everything above that is gravy, and you're just going to continue to fly up in the Tier 1 area. It's going to be very difficult for any team to go back to the Supreme Assault Forces.
And also, I suppose looking at the kills as well, it's also an indicator as to how passive the teams are playing on Purgatory, which I find rather interesting. I was expecting that kind of play style on Kalahari of all maps because firstly, it's huge. Secondly, everyone's playing ultra safe because they don't know where everybody is and they have to worry about all this high ground vision. But why do you feel like teams were so passive on Purgatory? Is it just because it's the first time everyone's encountering their groups in Purgatory, or is there another factor we need to consider here? I'm going to ask Beefy because she looks super confident.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Go ahead.
I was already, getting the words into my head, prepared to just say it. But then, yes, thank you for that. Like, with Argon, I think we didn't really quite see that passive-aggressive nature that we usually see for them. They went in for the aggression. They took out PXG Radicals, and I think that first engagement, I thought it was going to be a little bit more passive. But then after that, after PXG just went out with a surprising exit early on, the first team out, that was definitely something really surprising for me, and basically the birth of the greatness of Argon, and hopefully they get to do the same thing here in Bermuda.
Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, Argon just really turned it up. And again, we talked about skins just kind of helping, but it looks like we're going to have the first code of the day. And this is the code. It's going to be for Fiery M10 14 boxes. You're just going to get 2 throughout the day. So make sure that you have the code. It's going to be popping up very, very soon. Just input that one in. And then all you need to do is just, when you do get that code, just share it with your friends. Anybody that plays Free Fire can redeem it. It's not a first come, first serve. Anyone can participate in this one.
Yeah, don't miss out on the boxes, guys. Stick around. Don't go anywhere.
No, I was just trying to make sure that they were paying attention, and they were going to look for the code right now, but it's actually going to be coming a little later.
I'm very sure we snapped a couple of heads back to life, and I was like, welcome back to the stream, guys. Alright, so our next map is going to be Bermuda again. Now, I think it's to be expected. We're going to be seeing a lot of action on this map. Do you feel like there are any teams that are going to pop off today, considering that we're seeing some better performances from some of these not so performing teams yesterday?
Now let me give this to Beef because she has more insights into the background, especially from previous games. So go ahead, Beef. What do you think?
Wow, you just put so much pressure on me. I feel like no, I don't know that much yet. I mean, I only have the analytics from the Philippine Free Fire Open, but you know what? It doesn't really matter now. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and we've seen teams absolutely just pull it up. But for Bermuda, I feel like Danny made such an important point where Team A, Group A, their kryptonite is Group B, but then for Group B, their kryptonite is Group C, but then Group C's kryptonite is Group A. So it's like that triangle that you are going to be seeing there, and we are going to be in Bermuda. So the Bermuda Triangle, let's see what kind of curses we're going to be seeing here today.
All right, but going into the next match, what sort of team are you like, hey, we need to watch out for this one, other than Argon Malaysia, because I think that's a freebie. And let's go with you, Neptune. Who do you like going into the next match?
Yeah, I mean, upon seeing Argon pop off today, I really couldn't tell because it's probably that day one. We don't want to give out all our tactics. Let's hold back until day 2, and then let's show it to them slowly but surely on day 2 as we go along.
All right, so just a reminder, folks, we're going to be jumping back into Bermuda, everyone's birthplace. Welcome back, folks. But of course, that's going to be it for us casters. We're going to throw it back to... sorry, I'm not a caster. I'm a host. Hosting on. Take it
Please
over,
cast
casters.
for us.
Bye. See you guys later. Have fun.
All right, thank you very much, your wonderful host, and we're back once again. I am Neptune, and I have with me is Beef Mammy as we go into Bermuda right here, the birth of the games as we go into the flight. Now, it's a different direction right now on this flight path, and we are seeing teams already taking the high ground, and a few teams already on top of each other. Now, are we going to see those early engagement once again, Beef, on this game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Bermuda is going to be one of those maps where everyone's going to be going in a little bit aggressively just because of how well they already know this. This is the classic map that everyone just loves to play, unlike in Kalahari, where everyone's just going to be a little bit more passive. But then we already know here a lot can happen, and especially going into those later games, you're just going to be seeing a lot of these teams getting even more and more aggressive. But you know what? Speaking of aggressive, Bloody Head is actually not going to be doing that. They're just going to be going out into the coast. It's going to be very surprising, though, just because they need to push. It's not very likely that the final circle is going to be in this island, and I'm not quite sure if that's going to be the safest bet for them. They might be playing it a little bit too safe.
Yeah, I mean, for Bloody Heads, I think they're going for what worked on the first round, and this worked for them in the first round. Now, this is a different map, a different set of strategy from the teams in here, and once again, we're seeing a few members of PXG. If I'm not mistaken, that's PXG Radicals in there from above of Enigmax right here, and they are taking shots. So this is another team. Hopefully, they've already learned their lessons in there from the first match, and as they go into this second match, they will be able to come back up on the top.
Yeah, absolutely right. And PXG needs to make smarter decisions, especially going into this second game. They need not to make the same mistakes that they did a while ago, and just seems to be like they are knowing, I guess, when to position themselves a little bit better. They are going to be having that higher ground just a little bit. Barba is going to be causing a little bit of a distraction, but then Auto Knockout is going to be having one kill already, having that first blood, and Zay right now from Umbrella is going to be going down very early on.
Yeah, I mean, Auto Knockout really are popping off early on to the game, but it's in the mid-game that they usually lost their fights, and hopefully they'll be able to turn it around. Now, going back to Enigmax right here, they know they have PXG Radicals just above them, and I just saw Raymil in there on the vehicle, and I think this is the time to bring out the vehicle gameplay from the side of PXG Radicals. Are we going to see the unorthodox gameplay from PXG Radicals in here and be the radical type once again?
Let's see if the radical gameplay is going to be ensuing, as EMX is going to probably struggle if they go pushing as a team, but I think they're smart enough to not be engaging right now. So I think for the side of PXG, if they want to engage, they can do so, but then they also have the choice to just move out, and it just seems to be like they want to just stay here just a little bit, and EMX seem to be like they want to engage as well. So they need to make smarter decisions here, just because PXG has the upper hand because the hill is going to be on top of them.
Yeah, I mean, no one will be making a move probably in the next 20 seconds, the moment that they know where they will be going next, because the circle will be closing in a bit, and both of them are just sitting pretty right here, though they are on their toes, knowing that there's teams going into them. And here we go, we have this quite a surprise once again. PXD Radicals going for the vehicle gameplay, and three members has already went around them and is now flanking and pinching them at this point.
And just like that, we're going to be seeing not a stalemate, no, but a checkmate right now for Enigmax. It's going to be so hard for them. Two members down. Slumber and Black are going to be the only ones left for their team to actually go and make a comeback. But then that's not going to be too easy, as PXG wants the blood. They want to get that revenge. The revelation that they're basically showing everyone now that they're going to be the team to beat. And with that early knockout, especially going into three members already from Enigmax already down, Black is going to be the only person left, and he's going to be the only one here standing right in the corner, waiting for everyone to basically hunt him down.
And you know what I want to see here? I want to see Tanamo go in for the grenade kills in there, because we've seen Tanamo in there just brought a lot of grenades and just go in back to back with all those grenade hits. But I think Black will be sitting pretty in there, just waiting for PXG to run away or to get away at that point. Now we have Black is in there going in for the fight, and he is being pushed. Will Black be able to survive this on a 1v4? That will not be the case, as Raymil in there go in for the push, and PXG Radicals going in for the elimination with a 4-man strong team.
it was basically a trap. There really wasn't anything he can do because even if he tried to run away, there's just too many PXG members on the hunt. And speaking of on the hunt, it just seems to be like PXG is going to be hunted right now by Zeth. Also having that upper hand is going to be the same spot a while ago as what they had, the upper hand on top of that hill, but it seems to be like they're going to be at the very bad end of the stick. They're going to be taking shots though, but let's see how they're going to be responding.
I mean, PXG has did a great job already going against Enigmax right there. And not quite sure if Seth knows that this is PXG Radicals that they're going against because they saw the kill feed, but they tried. They attempted to go in for the push, but right now they're backing off Seth squad right here. I think they are aware, and yeah, PXG, don't touch them just yet. Let's wait for other teams to be able to, or like Vulture from other teams, probably, as they go in. Oh, Insanity was able to go in for the kill, but here, this is Seth right now that we're looking at and trying to go in and push out some of the teams as they go in closer into the middle of the map.
Tactical Index, they're going to be having a hard time as they are going to be going up against the top dog of the whole competition. And for Tactical Index, yeah, they're placing 9th there at the middle of the pack, but then they need to do even better, especially going up against Saf. That's not going to be easy. But then Saf is going to be, I don't know, oh, that's surprising to me. They actually didn't go in for the aggression, which is going to be probably a little bit smarter. They probably would have lost one member if they tried to engage right now from ITX. So very interesting gameplay, and that's actually pretty smart, knowing very well that they might lose that gunfight, but I think actually they had the upper hand, so a little bit of reluctance there for the side of Saf. But let's see what I know why, because they want to position themselves early on into the circle.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how they use what works, and here we go. What's working right now is PXG going for the aggression, and Tactical Index was just taken out in there by PXG Radicals, and here we go. The aggression is back from the side of PXG Radicals. This is what we're talking about. They go in for the early engagement, all the aggressiveness, using what they have with, or what they can with what they have, and this is what the PXG Radicals, this is the PXG Radicals that we want to see. So far, they already have 7 kills to their team's name, and they're just looking for more. They want to get back into the game.
So that is the reason why Saf actually disengaged, was the fact that PXG Radicals was there looking and eyeing ITX already from afar. Great read, by the way, for them to just disengage and go away, maybe go into that early game into the circle. But then Saf forbids, getting another person. Auto Knockout is going to be losing one member. That's going to be so bad for them. It's always Auto Knockout that's going to be unfortunately seeing Saf, and it's always going to be Saf that will probably get that better end of the stick.
Yeah, I think Auto Knockout is backing off a little bit, especially as Saf has a good position already. They have that building on their feet right now. The second floor would be a good sniper's position, as well as what we have PXG Radicals right here. So Argon is the next target for PXG Radicals. Now, we've seen Argon pop off earlier on match number 1. Now, this is both teams who are showing off, trying to get back into the game. Now, will Argon be able to do that once again, or will PXG has already awoken and took those much coffee right now to get back into the game, eliminate them early on this match?
Now, this is the rematch that we want to see, Argon versus PXG. Just because you already know they went down so early a while ago in our game number 1 in Purgatory, that PXG seems to be like they want to have that fight. 7 kills already to their name. The danger zone is going to be on top of them, though, so that's going to be stopping a lot of the pushes. But it doesn't really matter for Argon, just because they're going to be pushing well into the territory right now of PXG. And it's a shark-infested water, as one person is going to be going down for the side of Argon.
Yeah, we have in there going in for the kill. It is Sparks who has been taken down, and Tanamo in there who has been taken down as well. And hopefully they'll be able to pick up Tanamo as we have the grenade hit in there from Raymil. This time it's Raymil going for the grenade, and here comes the push from the rest of the team. And Argon has been taken down. PXG for that revenge is now very happy with this gameplay.
Raymil with the grenade and with the finishing shot. That was absolutely crazy. He is the playmaker for his team right now, the MVP, with 5 kills already. Yo, guys, look at the kill count. 11 already, and we're only in circle number 2. That is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I think Tanamo has passed on the Grenade King crown to Rainier right here because we were expecting Tanamo to go in for the grenade hit, and it is it is a good play from Rainier in there. Being, if I'm not mistaken, he is usually the sniper plus the grenade in there. What a good play. Now we have in here Umbrella, who is now just hiding out, waiting for the circle to close in 30 seconds, looking out for some of the teams and probably looting up on those that has been taken down, being a little bit passive right now as being solo on this fight.
iPants doesn't really have much of a choice but to play it passively and just to hide. Just because there's so many teams still alive, 9 squads, 31 people left, and just with, just 8 seconds left on the clock, he needs to go and push in, but he's gonna wait just because the circle is not gonna be hurting that much yet. And then this team, Zeth, has been playing a little bit passively, and guess who's going to be knocking in their front door? It's going to be none other than Saf right here in Plantation.
Yeah, and they will be stuck in the middle of Saf plus the danger zone plus Do Easy in there on the other side. Seth squad right now is a little bit of pickle right here. Now, if they show themselves, like probably take a shot and let other teams know that they're in there, they will be in trouble because Saf is going in a little bit too close for comfort at this point, and Seth squad has nowhere to go, nowhere to run out at this moment as the danger is coming in.
It's a sandwich, and not only does Saf have the upper hand here, they have the gunfire. They've been blazing it up already, and the hill is definitely going to give them a lot of advantage, a well-needed advantage for them to take out Zeth, and Zeth needs to make a play. They either will go up in that hill, or they're going to be going up against Do Easy, and I feel like they need to go down south just because Do Easy is just a better opponent to match up. They have a better shot to actually get rid of that squad compared to going up in that hill.
Yeah, I mean, this is a chance for Do Easy to prove everyone wrong. Despite of being taken out, this is their chance to go against Seth's squad and probably eliminate that team and then get back into the game. Yeah, they did great on a previous match, but hopefully they'll be doing better on these next matches because Do Easy, as what was mentioned earlier, is one team that needs to be looked out for because they are they did great from the previous tournaments that they went into. But Saf right now, they always go in great and wonderful for every matches that they go against and they go into. And Saf right now won't be letting go of Set Squad at this point.
Saf always doing an amazing job in the late game, really just positioning themselves so early on, and that is key. That's the reason why they keep winning all of these, getting those booyahs, because they really just prioritize that position, and at the very end, that's when they absolutely pop off. I mean, we see teams that don't really get a lot of kills, but get booyahs, but no, this team does both. So having that balance of those kill points and also the placement points really just puts them ahead of the herd.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of the flexibility that you can do going passive and aggressive and how fast you can change that, especially when you go into an engagement against another team. Now, we have Autonac out in here as well. Well, they lost one member. Now, they're on their toes right now, and I think they don't want to go into the early engagement. They just want to go into good position right here. The moment that the circle closes, they will have sights of who's coming in and probably pick off from them or eliminating a squad and then end up on the final 3.
Now, this could be impressive where the final circle is going to be, because if it's going to be a close enough circle, then PSG Radicals might actually be able to beat Saf just because of how aggressive they can be. But Saf can also answer with that aggression as well. And speaking of Saf, they're going to be heading in here against Bloody Heads, especially just applying that pressure onto them, knowing very well that they need to go and push in. And Saf has a really good spot right now where everyone is going to be going up against them. They're going to be gatekeeping the house down against Bloody Heads for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Bloody Heads is trying to avoid as much engagement as possible until the final stretch. But right now, going against Saf, that might not be happening because the moment that they could move closer, they will be shot down. And speaking of shooting down, here comes Seth's squad going against XBR. And one man down has been taken from Seth's squad. And XBR right now losing their members one at a time. Now, there's still a pickup going on in there. Seth's squad going in for the push against XBR. The hit will be in there, but they're stuck stuck in between glue walls, and they are just managing to survive as they go in, being pushed right now. Monarch is in there, but no, XBR or cannot. XBR will be taken down, and Set Squad is still 4-man strong.
What was happening there? Just seems to be like they had a house party, but no, look at that! Forbids with a big kill, and also McCrory as well, getting nades after nades, and just like that, Zeth is going to be prey. And just when they were actually able to get rid of one squad, they get rid, just one more player down left. It's Levitz, it's all up to him, and Saf just took that opportunity. The fact that they were vulnerable, thinking very well that the fight was going to be over, nope. Saf knows very well how to third party everyone.
And that's when you're about to breathe, because you were able to survive with all 4 members, and then you get naded, and then 3 members has been taken out. Oh, that will be trouble for that team in there. But we have a PXG also going in, and their target will be auto knockout. And Bloody Heads in there on the far side. As we mentioned, they are going in for the passiveness. They just want to get the placement and probably a few kills in there, because that worked from the previous match. But Set Squad has been eliminated already. It is Forbids once again. Saf really didn't let go of Set Squad at that point, and Ramiel in there just going in for the hit against Bloody Heads. And Ramiel, there's a sniper, also as a grenader with 3 ready already, needs to go in for this push.
Bloody Heads, just the positioning was just not there. They were going down in the hill, but then Saf gets eliminated. What? It was too easy with the combination right now of Freedom Rumble. Just take out every single one. What a disappointing end for them. They're going to beat that 6th squad that actually goes down. 5 still left here this competition, and it just seems to be like PXG might actually get this in the bag.
I think we found a weakness for a Saf in there. Don't be stuck in between, but Bloody Heads will be taken down. It's PXG who took them down, and they are still 4-man strong. Now, they are healing up right now, and they're on the edge of the circle or in the outer circle. They need to go in further in there, as we have 4 teams remaining. Now, Ramiel is in there regrouping with the rest of the teams. Hopefully, they get a good position, because some of them will be gatekeeping at this point. And Freedom Rumble right now, dominating that fight earlier against Saf, and Do Easy is now waiting for them to get in.
Freedom Rumble looks so good right now, and Do Easy is going to be eliminated, and Cobbs is going to be doing the job, putting the nail into that coffin, and then Drags as well is going to be taking rid right now of auto knockout, but then one person is going to be going down. Oh, finally, another squad is going to be taken out. PXG versus right now is going to be Freedom Rumble. Who's it going to be next?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the other side of the story. Now we'll have to see PXG do better this time. Oh, we have a 1-man down from the side of Freedom Rumble right now. Freedom Rumble did a great job taking out the top dogs in there. They have to continue on. Drags is in there trying to defend, as 3 members is in front of him, but Tanamo is in here, has already taken cover and also taken a few loots in here. Tanamo going for the push for the backstab, and Tanamo was able to go in for the kill, quarter kill in there. And Drags right now trying to survive, but no, Freedom Rumble has been taken down, and PXG Radicals for the booyah on this match.
So, we already knew PXG Radicals was absolutely killing it all throughout the game, not only into that first matchup, but also into the late game as well. It's going to be PXG Radicals with a second booyah of the day, the second booyah for them already. And we already have 2 teams having 2 booyahs already. It's going to be from the Philippines as well. As we see here, Most Dope is going to be very dope as well, but then another teammate that's going to be so aggressive to me is going to be Tanamo. Always having those nade kills, and for Ramiel as well. Their grenade kills are so impressive to me. They probably have the best utilizations of grenades that I've seen here in this entire competition.
Yeah, I mean, they are great, really great with those utilities, and we just asked them to use up or to get back into the game as the Radicals of the team. But let's go back and invite our host, and let's see what they think about that fight.
Wow, what a comeback from PXG Radicals, right? They had such a horrible start to the day, basically being cut down, right? They were deleted from the start of the day. It was as if they had to start the day with a handicap. And now we actually see the team with their true potential. This is a team you really need to watch out for, but my goodness, the performance was on point. SAF just suddenly getting eliminated, I did not expect that at all.
And I felt like the whole time it was kind of like the Michael Jordan meme, right? And I took that personally because PXG got eliminated 12th. They were first ones out the door in the first match. And then all of a sudden they were like, all right, we need to turn it up. We need to get this strong. And I think they had a minimum of about 15 kills.
Yes.
I even lost track because there's just so many, right? It was just insane of how they were doing it. But I mean, Beef, what were your thoughts kind of just on PXG's play throughout that match?
They were dominant in through that whole matchup. They started out into that second circle with 11 kills already and just finishing up with basically a cherry on top, and not knowing very well that they might not be able to get that late game just because they've been a little bit 50-50 with their matches, especially from yesterday as well. And for that game number 1, SAF just really disappointed me, and they were that team that could actually bring down PXG. But it seems to be like a lot of these teams already know the gameplay of SAF and know when to engage. Two teams actually went up against SAF, taking them down, and that's when PXG just was able to utilize that, really just taking advantage of that situation.
Yeah, I think we're also starting to see a little bit of that weakness of SAF strat where they focus everything into the late game, right? And if they get eliminated like this and they don't even have the chance to reach that late game, it really hurts the team when it comes to their placement points. Neptune, I have to ask for your opinion on this match because having SAF being completely shut down in this game, are we starting to see the fall of SAF, or is this just a matter of the teams adapting on day 2?
Yeah, I mean, for the side of SAF, I think this is the first time that they have been sandwiched by two teams and got eliminated early on. So they will learn their lesson and probably get a few kills first before going into the late game. You mentioned that they wait until the late game to get those engagements. So they waited enough, and when they've taken down, I mean, there's no coming back from that. So they need to adjust, like what PXG Radicals did on this match. They adjusted how they played, and I think, well, not really adjusted. They just went back to who PXG Radicals are, and that's the PXG Radicals that we know.
All right, so let's go into the highlights here, and we're going to see quite a number of them. And I think it was funny because Beef was talking about how amazing SAF's positioning was, how patient they were, and all of a sudden they go for the third party on Zeth and they make a nice play. But then all of a sudden they get third party themselves, and it was just like karma comes quickly, right? So Beef, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yep, they got a taste of their own medicine, and it was really bitter. Getting into that 6th spot, that is not going to be good for their points. They might be able to get toppled off just by a little bit. Maybe they're still going to be in that top spot, but a lot of these teams know how to counter SAF already, so that's going to be impressive for me. Freedom Rumble, though, did such a good job, especially in applying that pressure, not only to the top dog, but also for PXG. They really went in there head-to-head, and I didn't know who was actually going to win that, so a lot of teams are pulling up. But you see Argon, you see PXG, you see Freedom Rumble really taking a lot of these kills and these points, which is going to be impressive at the very end.
And I think at this point of time, we're starting to see what teams are going to be having that very active early game and what teams are focusing more on that late game situation where they want to make sure that they're fully equipped to go into that late game with plenty of blue walls, plenty of health kits as well. Let's take a look at the round standings very quickly for groups A versus B. Of course, PXG Radicals, 30 points. I think this is a great way to come back into the day. Now, they got 0 points from the first round, so I think with these 30 points, we can split it 50-50. Let's just assume they got 15 points from each game. I think they're in a pretty good spot, even though they had a horrible game 1.
And how quickly they fall. Look at that. Argon, Malaysia, they were tops of the last round. They had, what, 19 points in the last round, and now they got 1 point, and that's just a placement. That's a pity point at that point. So Argon really fell off the map on this one. Neptune, your thoughts on Argon here?
Yeah, I mean, Argon did a great job. Unfortunately, went into a pretty aggressive team who is really climbing up, struggling, or trying to go in on top of the leaderboard, and that is how they went down. Now, I think Argon will try to go in as they went on to the match 1 and try that once again on the next game, but hopefully they don't go against PXG Radicals or Freedom Rumble in here, who's just dominating these fields.
Now, something we need to remember as well, guys, is that we're going to be jumping into match B versus C after this, right? So Group A is going to have a bit of a break. They'll be playing again later on. B, they're warmed up. They're ready to go. But it's the Kryptonite group, right? It's Group C. Yeah. And we all know that technically C is the monster group. It is terrifying. You have to worry about all these massive teams, and we already saw SAF struggle yesterday. So for them to only have one good round for this, you could say, for this best of two, what's going to happen to SAF for the next two matches?
Yeah, we're going to have to see that one, and then we're looking forward to that. But, like, okay, a little bit of an underdog, like a sleeper team in AKO Legend. This is a team that has not won a single Booyah yet. They've been kind of hovering around the 5 through 8, and they just kind of just survive just barely. But in terms of points, this is a team that's actually in a well-positioned place, right? It's all about consistency. You don't have to be the number one dog with all the kills and getting all your booyahs. You just need to be better than the other guys, right? And 13th through 18th, at least in this league, right? So all you need to do is survive. Watch out for AKO. I think that this is a team that you really need to look out for moving forward.
Yeah, I think AKO is going to be a pretty tough opponent. Now, and next map as well, we're going back onto Purgatory. Now, with the introduction of the new map for Group C, this is the first time Group C is going to be stepping onto this map. Do you think that the teams in Group B are going to play differently after playing at least one match on this, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, Group B is already warmed up. They know how to go against some of the Group B, but with as what you mentioned, Group C is a strong group, and they need to watch out for them. So hopefully they don't go over their heads, and be careful for those teams that you need to watch.
All right, I'm looking forward to that one. And there's going to be a lot more games to come ahead. And of course, this is going to be the first code that we give away. MCP, HP, VEB, 4G, UQ. I did that right. And all you need to do is copy and paste it, put it into your Free Fire, and get your skins. It's the easiest way. Everyone can do it. It's not a first come, first serve. You just share it with all your friends. Make sure that all of your, your squad mates can actually get in and participate. The only limitation, though, is the timing. At the end of the stream, you're not able to redeem it anymore, so make sure you do it somewhat quickly.
And congratulations to everyone that's already redeemed it. There's always that one person that has their phone open and they're just waiting for the code, right? There's always that one dude who's already done it. Congratulations, by the way. I bet there's like 5 people out there thinking, yes, I got the code first. Oh, wait, no, everyone gets the code today.
And there's going to be more codes throughout, not only for today, but also through the rest of the league. And there's going to be, 10 more days, at least in the league, and then the grand final. So there's plenty of times plenty of opportunities to win out skins, and they're all going to be different. So feel free to just, again, share that, make sure that everybody knows, and stay tuned because this league's not going anywhere, and we've got more skins to give away.
Don't be a troll and share the code. Now, before we jump into our next best of 2 for today, we're going to go for a quick break. So make sure you head on over to the toilet, grab your snacks, get a drink, because once you come back, we got non-stop Free Fire action for you. We'll see you after this break.
3 days to go.
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 There is 3 more days.
Armato Tindin, are you ready?
¿Estás listo?
Adakah anda sudah bersedia?
Are you ready?
Are you ready for it? Are you ready? 你准备好了吗？
هل أنتم جاهزون يا أساطير لعيد ميلاد فري فاير الرابع؟
Let's tune up for the party.
Let's turn up for the party.
Tune up for the party.
Let's turn up for the party.
أتميتشاي اسمعني.
Let's tune up for the party.
Let's tune up for the party.
3 days to go.
Are you ready?
Quay nào em ơi. Booyah!
absolutely bombed and taken out by MS25. That's 2 down for AB Sligers, and their aggression has not really paid off, as now they will get overwhelmed by the members of Freedom Rumble. Your boy was going to be the third one on chopping block. Comstas get down as Ampav will take Red Panda down. Your boy was the last man alive, and it seems like Freedom Rumble will be forfeited for sure. Shaw's trying to help out, but this is going to run into 3 different crosses.
Run, my
That is
boy.
not good for Shaw. They're going to try and gun them down. In fact, they will. Shaw's a down. MS25 picks
XO.
them up, and now MS25 pushes on forward. XL with the third one, and Shot will be eliminated. Catch up to Geek Fam. Can they do it? They got one down. Calls at the window. They're rushing in. They're gonna take out Cobb. Dress goes for a rotation, but he takes himself out. Cobb's down. This is it. AKO. Not gonna make it. That is international. They haven't seen him yet, but now they do. Mr. D trying.
Hello and welcome back to day 2 of the MCP Majors Season 2. My name is Holler and with me is the amazing Danny. What are your thoughts on the first 2 matches thus far today?
Bit of a surprise. I don't think anyone expected the upsets we had, right? So we had SAF do the usual thing in Game 1 in Purgatory. They got a very, very easy booyah, but then they just got... I think they just got swatted out of Game 2. Right? Everyone was just like, "Get out of here! We're sick of this. We don't want more SAF domination. We need a new leader." So SAF got swatted out, and it was PXG Radicals to absolutely dominate Game 2 after literally a 0-point finish in Game 1, which I thought was a really crazy upset, because you would think that if you get eliminated during round 1, the morale would be low, your team would be unmotivated, and you would think a team would perform worse. But it makes me wonder, is PXG one of those teams where if they do horribly in one round, they all of a sudden just have this secondary win that brings them into that second match and absolutely crushes their opponents? I don't know.
First game was like a warm-up game, right? You just need to just make sure that are my buttons working? I gotta do my finger exercises.
I think they got deleted like as soon as the game started. So they didn't even get to warm up, right? It's like they dropped in, they died. So
Unfortunately, that was the case for them. But I mean, they pulled it off real strong. I mean, they got 30 points. They're back into this one. No real issues there. But I think the biggest stellar for me was SAF and the fact that, hey, they're looking at third party, but at the same time, they're very vulnerable to being third party themselves. This is one of those things where they need to be careful, right? If there's a lot of firefights going on, you got to be careful of, hey, do I want to go in and do I want to take this risk, or do I want to play it a little bit safe, maybe just look to go for a high placement later? But let's see what the standings so far after the first 2 matches. What are your thoughts on this one, Dave?
All right, so we've got additional points loaded up onto groups A and B. So for anyone that's wondering, teams in C, if they've basically fallen down the leaderboard, it's because they haven't played yet. So we're going to see some changes after this next round. SAF being in the top position, not surprised, but PXG Radicals now sitting in second place. They have to be so proud of their performance in that second game, because it really brought them back up onto the leaderboard. They're 20 points over Blacklist. So in this next 2 games, if PXG can play average games, they are going to be able to maintain their second place over Blacklist International. So there's going to be a little bit of an issue for some of these Group C teams, because we're really starting to see, interestingly enough, these teams from Group A and B really pull through.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit of a gap. But again, my sleeper team, look at AKO Legend. Very quiet. We have not really talked too much about them, but they've quietly gotten 26 kills. This is pretty formidable. I mean, it's not the 53 of SAF, but who is SAF, right?
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is a team that you really do need to look out for going into this B versus C matchup. I think that we're going to see a lot of that, and I'm actually very excited to see Group C, because they bring the rain, they bring the heat. Everything is great about this one, and there's going to be definitely some fireworks here.
Yeah, they definitely put the heat on SAF, and that might be a little bit of a worry for the Filipino team, right? Because you want to maintain as much of a lead as possible, but looking at their points right now, they're very vulnerable to getting knocked down, right? You're only 40 points ahead, and Group C hasn't played at all. There's a very good possibility that they're going to be losing their position here after that terrible second game.
And if you're in Group A or B and you're kind of in the bottom tier, this is in that 13 range, now is the time to start worrying a little bit, right? You really need to step it up. You don't have a whole lot of time, at least for today. I mean, yeah, we have this league going on for about 10 more league days, and you do have that opportunity, but you don't want to be mathematically eliminated early in this league. You got to get yourself into that money. Make sure that you're into the top 12 to get into that grand finals later in the year.
Absolutely. So we're going to be jumping into Purgatory in just a moment with our casters. Should we do our predictions for groups B versus C? Like, who are we thinking is going to take the booyah here?
I mean, you got to go with one of the favorites, right?
You're going.
That's the biggest thing.
I bet you're going to go PXG Radicals. No. Are you going?
Okay.
No. Are you not going to go for PXG?
I'm not gonna. Okay, PXG. The inconsistency worries me. For me to pick a team, I just want that stable team, right? AKO Legend right now to me says stable, right? You can't be eliminated 12th. You cannot be in that situation.
But the
that
issue
is a disaster of a
is
match,
that so
right?
far AKO is not a booyah team, right? Like they'll place high, but it's not a booyah team. Who do you think is going to take the booyah?
So it's kind of like dating, right? Am I going to always go for the hot girl that's like, got a lot of, you know what I mean? Or am I going to go for the, above average girl with everything? It's about consistency. Sorry, that may be too much information there. I'm sorry.
Your expectations are very low. All right. Hang on, Purgatory. I'm just taking a look at some of these teams in B and C. You know what? I think after PXG Radical's performance, I have a feeling they're going to carry that momentum forward. Right? You got to be feeling so good after that second game. PXG Radicals. Just watch them get eliminated first round, right? Just watch them now.
All right, so we'll find out as we go into match 3 Purgatory, Neptune, and Beef Mommy. Please take it away.
And yes, finally we're here, and that was such an amazing discussion. I really want to get into it because I think for everyone else here, we keep talking about the Kryptonites, right? And B and C, this seems to be like C is going to be a little bit having that edge against that group B. We'll see though, because it is going to be a new day and so many unfortunate things and upsets already did happen, like what Danny said. So I don't know if it's going to be the same thing here. How about for you, Neptune? Do you think that we're going to be seeing a change in the tides?
Yeah, I mean, we've been surprised by a lot of teams today. Compared to the gameplay that they had yesterday, there's a lot of change up that they've made, and a lot of them have moved up into the ranks. So there's still a lot of surprises. We're just going into a few more games, and this is just day 2 right now of Beef.
Absolutely. And I know we keep saying that, yes, there's a little bit of a change in tides and in pacing, but I mean, we saw the top 2 teams that won yesterday get another booyah, so that might be the same story here. What's more interesting to me is like the other teams that didn't really do well yesterday, being at the very bottom of the pack, really just pulling up. We saw Argon, we saw Bloody Heads, but then enough about that. We're going to be seeing a new team right now. I feel like Fast Skill really wants to have that win. They were so close into getting that win, and they're going to be that team that will be making a lot of those calculated decisions, even going into that final circle, and that's going to be interesting to me. Hopefully they get that booyah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to agree as well with Holler, with AKO, with auto knockout, because they're doing great with consistency, and they're just in there as a sleeper team, and there's a chance for them to really overtake a lot of this team, especially when they pop off. So we'll have to wait. There's a lot of surprises for you in here. So for those of you watching right now, don't think that this is a team who will be dominating. There's a lot of things that will be happening into this match. So hopefully you're watching with us, because we as the casters were already in here and we're still surprised. So hopefully you are as well.
I'm sorry, Neptune. I'm sorry, Holler, but I'm gonna have to take Danny's side. I'm gonna take the girls versus boys right now, just because I think auto knockout, okay, they're consistent at being in the middle of the pack. They're not a booyah team like we already know, and Purgatory is going to be the name of the game, but hopefully we get to see somewhat of a miracle for the side of auto knockout though. But you know what, Purgatory, this is going to be a map that's going to be so impressive. I love this map, and I'm really hoping that we're going to be seeing that final circle underwater. Just please give it to me.
I mean, we'd love to see that water finish. And yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure if probably it's because of a different landscape that we want to see that, but hopefully it will hopefully the RNG gods will give it to you today. But right now the flight is on. They're going in from Lumber Mill up into the crossroads, and a few teams has already jump off and spread out, and I think there might be a few in there who might be in trouble. But looking at Brasilia right here in the middle of the map, 3 teams are already in there. Now we also have Marble Works with 2 teams jumping off on that area, so we'll have to find out where will the first engagement happen.
Well, we'll probably be seeing it right here. Almighty is going to be right beside Wheels, and these two teams, they've been going at it. These two teams know how to engage in that early game. So who's going to be able to utilize all of their grenades and basically their length and also going into those blue walls? That's when we'll see the fight really coming into play. But it just seems to be like Wheels is going to be taking a little bit of a back end and really just slowing everything down, which is going to be good because you need to have weapons to be able to really just win in Brasilia. That's not going to be easy just because of how much cover you actually have. And Almighty really does well into fragging into those early moments.
Yeah, I mean, Almighty almost every time they go into the area wherein there's a lot of buildings to hide out and probably loot out, and then they just get into position. They get the high ground or probably the roof of these areas and then just look out for everyone. Now, the question there is, will they be able to take off a few more teams before they go into probably the fourth and the fifth circle, getting them ahead to the pack, or will that the same thing happen from the previous days wherein they just waited for late game and then just taken out and just hanging back in there in the middle of the rankings? Now, we'll have to see Umbrella as well onto this area. They're also going in for the lookout, but no one has been sighted just yet. Now, up here in Central, Umbrella is doing quite well on these matches, but they need to go in better onto the engagement because we don't want the same thing to be happening for every team down at the bottom of the ranking. We just want them. We want the underdogs to move up a little bit more.
Now, this is so interesting to me. You can see here Blacklist on the very top side of the map. Moat House is going to be a very interesting matchup just because they're in the middle of a lake. And you know what? If you're going to be going into the mansion of Blacklist International, you're definitely going to be eaten right now by the crocodiles that's going to be swimming around the moat. But then one person seems to be like they're actually going to be a little bit outside. I'm actually not sure who that's going to be, but a really interesting push. I feel like that's just a one person being the lookout just to check who's going to be around the area. It just seems to be like Blacklist International really loves to have the house.
I mean, most of the teams are going into the 1-3 split as we see from Blacklist International, and if I'm not mistaken, it's also Wheels in there who's going in on a 1-3 split. So 3 of the members are going in for the loots, while the rest are just slowly creeping in onto the other side, looking out and probably give those information to the rest of the teams. XBR right now is in here going to high ground, as I think they've seen already those members of Wheels in there, but MTX was able to go in against Almighty in there, and I think there's another engagement. Zap has been sighted. Let's Go right now is stuck into the car, being shot down, and will be taken down. Now, Let's Go didn't just go away from that fight and has been eliminated. Now, Zap right now might be in trouble losing one of their members.
Okay, now I'm confused. I'm pretty sure, yes, they probably did that 1-3 split, but where are the rest of the SAF gang? What? Let's Go already going down, and that is just absolutely unfortunate just because of how important it is, especially into the late game, to have a full squad. But we've seen it before that 3 people, that can still be really good at the very end, but a very questionable push nonetheless, and I don't know why he actually overextended himself that way, knowing very well that he won't have any backup.
Yeah, I mean, it's too early as well to go in for the information gameplay like that. I mean, that is usually when you go in for a bait or a sacrifice to get the information. But early on to this matchup, losing one member, and especially in that manner, it's very difficult for Saf right now. I think this might be a change of tide that we keep talking about, and Saf might be going down. Hopefully not that much, because they've maintained their lead on the rankings right here, and this is a bad way for them to slide down into the slope.
Yeah, a really bad way for that start, but then we're going to be seeing another passive aggression over here by the side of 4X-Men. They're just going to be chilling. They're going to be going around the coconuts and just trying to see if they can find a nice vacation spot. This looks like they're going to be going shopping, but you know what? They're going to be shopping for kills. That's what's going to happen, just because we know how aggressive this team can be. And if you are going to be going up against a team like SAF as well, with just one person down, they will probably win that engagement. And speaking of, MTX seems to be like they want to take the engagement as well. It's going to be 3 members against 4.
Yeah, I mean MTX right now, not quite sure if they're aware that someone else is in here, but still, it's still a disadvantage from the side of SAF because they lost one member, and we're still unaware of what happened or how that happened. But MTX right now, if they go in for the push, there is a possibility that they'll be able to dominate them, and SAF right now will be going down once again early on from this match.
Saf is going to be chilling, is going to be a little bit more passive than we usually see them to be. But we already know they do passively into that early game, but it's not working out for them. And the fact that they did that last game and they lost it, there needs to be a change in that strategy. And then speaking of, Almighty is going to be taking those engagements like we already know, just because they like to be aggressive into the early rounds. And so Shira is going to be applying that pressure, but then they did reveal wherever they are. On top of this hill, they are going to be having that vantage point, but then a house is going to be covering up right now for the side of Umbrella. They're going to be cozy, but just one push right now from Almighty, especially with just one person for the assist up in this hill with that sniper, that is probably going to be ensuing, but it's going to be one more round and just going to be into that second circle as it's going to close in.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised of the positioning of Almighty right here. Usually they go in for the cover and this snipe enemies out inside in the comfort of the house, but right now they're just out in the open. So I think there's a change up from the side of Almighty, but we'll have to find out, will that work from their end? Now we have Blacklist International right now going in for the fight, and I think this is engagement of Blacklist going against XBR. Oh, there you go, we have a Phoenix in there going in against Aaron's and eliminating that member, or taking down that member. Another one has been taken out. Samurai will be knocked down, and this is still Blacklist International as 4-man strong. Grenade has been thrown, but no one has been taken down. Guns was able to go, but no, they cannot go in against Blacklist International because this is a team that you really need to watch out for.
Why was XBR still on the same spot where they actually killed Let's Go? I don't understand why they were actually just chilling there. Not only that, but the fact that they were able to take out Let's Go is because there's no cover whatsoever, and they just stayed there like sitting ducks and got eliminated by Blacklist International. And with them having really the kill leader having 4 kills already, and that's going to be very tricky to actually go and pull through. But then speaking of, it's going to be very tricky as PXG is going to be in a little bit of a pickle as the machine is going to be able to go in there. But then the glue wall is going to be going up. The Lamborghini, no, that's not going to be going in as the McLaren is going to explode already. The glue wall action is going to be going into play. It's going to be just one more kill for them as Insanity is going to be going down. It seems to be like the strong teams are going to be fighting each other early on.
Yeah, I mean, we are just expecting a vehicle gameplay from the side of BXG Radix. Oh, there you go, the grenade in there from Tanamo, and a quick finish for 2 members. Now it's now left to Union here, and this is what I'm talking about. This is the PXG that we love to see as they go in 1v3 against this member, and Fastkill MY will be eliminated. PXG 3-man strong, unfortunately losing Insanity.
Ooh, the Philippine teams, the top 2 Philippine teams, already 1 person down, only leaving them 3 apiece. And it seems to be like Blacklist International and Almighty are going to be taking advantage of that fact. It's Group C versus Group B. Now, that's not going to be very easy, but Fast Kill's usually one of that team where we want them to win, but they were so close, but not so much as they were engaging PXG, the wrong team to engage in early on. And they are going to be that 11th squad going and saying bye-bye. Now, that's going to be very surprising to me how early they actually went out.
I was thinking about what I mentioned earlier. So they lost Insanity and PXG are now sane. Is that right, Beef?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, they're going to be sane. They're going to be having clear thoughts in their head. But then that's what they like, though. They're pretty much an insane team, especially with their gameplay and how aggressive they can actually be. And if ever we're going to be seeing SAF go up against PXG Radicals, woo! I want to see that go down just because you don't have Let's Go and you don't have Insanity. So they're kind of in an even playing field. But I honestly think PXG has this a little bit of an edge, really going into those high pressure situations in the aggression.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier, this is a PXG that we know, that we've seen, the unorthodox vehicle gameplay plus the grenade kills in there. Those are the kills that you don't see that much. The combination of all the tactics as well as adjusting as when they need it. And this is what we want to look for in a team, and hopefully the rest of the teams are also adjusting that quickly into the game, because we want more of them to show up, to pop up on this game, and not just one tactic wherein they will be easily read and be predictable from or by the other team.
Speaking of predictability, we're going to be seeing here MTX versus Freedom Rumble. And we always see these two teams just go up against each other in the very early round. And it just seems to be like they might be having a hard time here, just because MTX not going to be able to get a lot of that gameplay. We already know they've been a little bit passive, but it's going to be obviously Freedom Rumble that will add that aggression to them.
I mean, we have Freedom Rumble in here, just really aggressive, and MTX right now is just struggling to get back in them. One has been knocked down, but is being revived right here. But I think the second time around that they go in for the engagement, if MTX will not be fleeing the scene, they might be going down against Freedom Rumble, because we know Freedom Rumble, they are in here, they want to go in for those points as well as the kill points, and they will not be waiting that long.
Absolutely, and Freedom Rumble, they've been doing a good job in the last two games, so I won't be surprised if they're going to be doing the same here, especially with metrics as well. It's going to be not a very good start for them, though. They're going to be playing a little bit aggressively, passively, and they've been in the middle of the pack. Kind of like Freedom Rumble, but a little bit worse. So Freedom Rumble definitely has an upper hand of getting the opportunity to really just play those two games. Not only that, they're going to be hot off of their almost win a while ago. So hopefully they get to have a little bit more better plays here and maybe have a response that they really want. But then PXG is going to be right there for them. Oh no, that's going to be very difficult for both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, PXG Radicals are very aggressive from what we're seeing for this match, but we have Umbrella also joining the party. So this is a three-man team, and PXG Radicals, I don't think they're ready for this. They need to get away. They need to back out, and even outside of the zone, they are backing out. They're just regrouping at that point. Hopefully, some of the teams in there from the other side will be distracting and letting away the attention out from PXG Radicals, because we like to see more of the tactics in there, and Umbrella as well to pop off, and they might be able to pop off if they go against Freedom Rumble, or probably eliminate PXG Radicals on this point.
Yeah, and Umbrella, they need to just go and pick up all of the kills that they need, just because they are at the 16th spot. That is not going to take it. That is not going to be good, because you need to go up to the 12 just to qualify. And a lot of these teams, Abuya isn't even going to be in their mind. Yes, it's going to be nice, but they need to get a lot of these kills. They need to place high, just because you're going to be needing that placement points. But then we're going to be seeing here Almighty just giving a lot of gunfights right now for the side of Freedom Rumble, and they're going to be having a really hard time. Shira is going to be going down, though, and just going to be eliminated. It's Vegeta doing an absolutely amazing time, even from far away.
Yeah, when we thought it is Almighty who will be able to go in for the takedown against Freedom Rumble, no, it was turned around, but Ren was able to get back in there, taking one man down. And Almighty, as we mentioned earlier, this is the position that they usually go into. They go into the house, usually the second floor, and they put up all the defenses and just get ready. As you can see, Batman is in here just waiting for the chance to release that grenade launcher in there. But I think Freedom Rumble is just waiting for the chance as well, because they lost one and they need to recover.
Now this is going to be very hard right now for the side of Almighty, just because they can actually get eliminated with just one single bomb and just one grenade to just end everything. But then we're going to be seeing shots taken right now. It's going to be Blacklist International that's going to be in the very edge of the circle, and they even have the upper hand to go in there very early on top of the hill. This is something that you'll want to see, but then you can see here on the minimap, right behind them is going to be Wheels. That's not going to be easy for them, just because of how aggressive this team can pull through.
Yeah, Auto Knockout right now is in trouble. They are outside and they have been gatekept by Blacklist International. And there you go, AKO Legend eliminated at 10th place, but Blacklist International will not be resting just yet, because they will be pushed by Wheels in here from the side, and I don't think they're ready just yet. We have one already being taken down, and on the other side we have Almighty being eliminated in here. They're not ready for that fight. It's now left to Batman right here, and Umbrella right now is just recovering from this fight. Hopefully Batman will be able to get back on this game, because this will be a 1v2 situation, or 1v3, and they're going to pick up from Ren. Oh, a 2v2 that might be happening. Oh, what? Blacklist International has been eliminated in there from the other side. That was quite a surprise, but going back into the fight, Almighty right here will be taken down as well. Batman will be left and taken out by Umbrella Reborn.
Wait a minute, there's so many things that's happening that I didn't even get to see who actually killed Blacklist International. Were you able to actually see that, Neptune?
I think it's a side of Wheels in there. They went in for the fight, and like what I mentioned, they might not be ready for that engagement after taking down Auto Knockout. But Saf will also be taken down. What is happening? This is quite a turnaround. Those on the top are being brought down like flies.
Day number 2, a day to just say, you know what, it's going to be opposite day. Whoever is going to be at the bottom of the pack, yeah, they're going to be the ones that will get all of those kills. PXG Radicals only with 2 people left. Umbrella Reborn is going to be eliminated. There's going to be 4 squads left into the mix. We only have 4 teams left, and there's still a lot of time. We're only in the 5th circle, only with 22 seconds though, and we can see a very nice position right now for 4X Men. They're going to be in that trailer, but you already know it's going to be just one grenade that can do the job and just eliminate everyone here. And PXG seem to be like they could actually do that, as Tanamo is going to be that person to really apply the pressure. He knows when to throw the grenade, and especially with this loot box, that's not going to be very easy for 4X Men.
Oh, Umbrella Reborn will be eliminated. And yes, PXG Radicals is one team that you need to be looked out for. And I think this is Raymil, who is trying to take over the Grenade King's crown, who also is with Tanamo. So they need to look out for those grenades. But there you go. The push is on. The Circle and 4X is now going for the push. But Raymil will be taken back. But no, the close sniper by Raymil in there against Spade. And Tanamo right now, double vector in hand, going in against Jib. But and still 2 men strong, not being taken out just easily. We have on the other side MTX going against Wheels, and Wheels is falling down one at a time. But MTX right now just losing 1 will be picked up, and Wheels is now out. We're now left with 3.
Metrics doing such a great job. They have a full squad. They can do this. There's only 1 person left in 4X Men and just 2 people left for PXG. So they have the ball in the court. They can do anything they want. And for PXG, speaking of, it's going to be eliminated right now. Really strong start, but then a 2v4 situation is not going to be good. But if it's going to be 2 people, it's going to be Raymil right now, as well as Tanamo that can actually go and pull through.
Yeah, this is a numbers game right now. 1 has been taken down from the side of MTX, but there's still a lot more. Tanamo has been taken down. I think this Raymil, who might be in trouble in a 1v2, but Raymil trying to go in from the side, and Metrics has been eliminated. Ooh, PXG doing the impossible, getting that clutch. Raymil for the MVP.
This is what I told you, a 4v2 situation against PXG, that is doable for them as long as you have Tanamo and Raymil, the nade gods right now, a free fire. Guys, just put it in the chat, man. They keep serving everyone nades on a silver platter. That is absolutely crazy.
I'm not even seeing some of the members in here shaking, hands shaking. They are so calm getting that win and getting that clutch. Oh, I don't know what this is, but they are doing great.
What is happening in the past 3 games? It's like we keep seeing Blacklist International going down. We saw SAF go down so early, and the teams that we usually would see really pull up, they don't do that. But PXG, they did such a terrible job into that first matchup, but they just absolutely killed it in the last 2. So you know what, with this being down, there's still a lot of things to happen. But you know what, let's take a look right now with our lovely host to see what happens, because I want to know what their thoughts are for this game.
I don't think we have enough time to talk about what happened. Hola, can you summarize it?
Yeah. I mean, okay, this is like a typical purgatory game in the sense that there's, people are playing somewhat cagey. I think there was about 10 teams left alive at 14 minutes. And then within a span of 3 minutes, 6 teams were eliminated. Blacklist was eliminated 9th. Danny and Beef, I'm just calling it out because you said that they were going to win. So Almighty came in next, Freedom Rumble, SAF, Umbrella. Like, these are like, the top teams just getting eliminated in that span. And I mean, let's give a big shout out to PXG in the sense of Raymil and Tanamo, top 2, like left just by yourself, and you're able to just kind of pull that one out.
It was
That was
2
insane.
versus 4 in the late game, right? Like, usually numbers gives you a massive advantage, but the way they approached that 4 versus 2 was beautiful. I almost feel like MTX, they were rushing it, and that they weren't careful enough. They could have used glue walls and slowly creep towards them, but they chose to instead rush them in the open. And maybe it was just them maybe getting a little bit excited because that would have been the team's first booyah, but then adrenaline can do weird things to you, right? I mean, I've watched games because I think I'm gonna win, and then you have that, oh my god moment. We have too many of those.
I mean, it's gonna happen, right? You're gonna have those moments. You get bloodthirsty. You think, oh, there's just like 2 left. You know how hard difficult it will be. We outnumber them 4-2. We should be fine. But stuff like that can happen. So now, Neptune, has that ever happened to you where you've been bloodthirsty and you've gone into a bad situation and lost a round because of it?
Well, I think every time, because I'm not that good as a player. I know how to analyze, but I cannot apply what I'm thinking. I like what I'm thinking to what I'm doing. So yeah, most of the time. But I know the feeling of MTX right there. When you thought that you are about to win, they got to, I would say, reckless, because like what you mentioned, Danny, they placed the walls differently compared to what you're expecting. They should have placed them, or they placed them early onto the outside of the circle, and then they just went in on the side into the open in the hands of PXG, and that's the thing that I think they made a mistake.
Yeah. Now, Beef, I mean, you were very lost in that match as well, but we also need to consider the fact that some of the big teams really got shafted in that late game, right? Like, all the big teams were going up against each other so early. Do you think this is a case of teams are trying to predict where everyone is landing and pathing so that they're trying to get rid of the competition early?
Well, it just seems to be like, I think the RNG gods just did their thing. You know what? The big squad, yeah, we're gonna be putting you up against each other. Yes, maybe they knew where the top teams would land, but then that would be a little bit too much of a risk. If you knew that a strong team would go down there, why would you go down there as well? So it's gonna be just unfortunate to see teams like SAF and Blacklist International just have a little bit of an upset. And not only that, it's like another squad that we really wanted to actually win. Fast Kill went down so early, so even from that really strong start, that was like, okay, this is not how we know it's going to turn out to be. And PXG Radicals, just even though they were down 2, it doesn't matter. We called it. It's like, okay, it's a 2v4, but if you are going up against PXG and these 2 guys, they literally just throw nades as if it was just unlimited.
And we're going to talk about the fact that this is Purgatory, right? I love this map, and I think it's way better. I mean, I've already forgotten about Kalahari, Calamari, whatever we want to call it. That one's done. But Purgatory, we're seeing just how much action there is. Things can happen so quickly. It's just mad chaos, and this is what makes it fun, right? Just being able to survive somewhat lucky situations, yes, but, you know, great things can happen, and we're seeing just the amount of chaos that can ensue.
Yeah, and I think as well we need to consider the final circle as well, because we can see on our screen there's hardly any cover for these teams. And if you look at everyone's inventory right now, there are no glue walls. Everyone has basically used it before that final circle went down. So people sort of need to adjust the way that they play going into that late game, right? Especially on Purgatory, you don't know if you're even going to get cover, because compared to Bermuda has a lot of places to hide. Kalahari, I'd say Purgatory shares a lot of similarities to Kalahari in terms of the lack of cover. Anyways, let's go to the group standings real quick. This is match 3 standings for B versus C. PXG Radicals, they get a booyah, 24 points, 18 kill points. 18!
Actually insane.
What?
Yes. And, you know, I kind of feel like very stupid here because I was saying, you know, we hyping up AKO Legend and they dropped pretty much a donut on this one in the sense of just getting that pity point. Very poor showing by AKO Legend. I was talking about consistency, and this is definitely the furthest thing from being consistent.
They might have jinxed it. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, that's on me.
Unfortunately. Now, in terms of the leaderboard, I have to say a couple of teams that are towards the bottom of the leaderboard are doing pretty well, right? Wheels, they managed to pick up some points, so they're sitting on 11 for this round. Metrics was definitely a bit of a surprise, right? No one expected Metrics to do as well as they did in this round. They managed to get second place. They could have gotten the booyah, but things happen. Unfortunately, they couldn't quite top PXG in this situation, but Are we starting to see metrics as a team improve? Because I think this is probably the first game where the team is under the spotlight.
Yeah, and we're seeing growth, right? The teams are going to get better. They're gonna make better decisions. Sometimes you make a bad decision going up against PXG like that, but at the end of the day, they really stepped up here. But look at Fast Kill Malaysia. They got 1 point. That's a killer, right? This is a team that was, has huge aspirations. Those are the kinds of things. It's all about consistency. I can't even say it 3 times, but that's what you need to do. You need to be consistent throughout. You need to make sure that you can play every single time and you're getting your points. And dropping a single point like that, you're going to have a hard time.
I mean, yeah, that was a very good representation of consistency, inconsistency.
Oh, snap.
All right, so our next map is going to be Bermuda for Groups B versus C. Now, we already had the Purgatory. Everyone's going back onto familiar ground. Everyone's happy with this map. We've all played on this map before. It's, again, our birthing ground. We all grew up playing on Bermuda. So are we going to just go back to that typical game where the top teams just dominate the rounds? Or do you think that everyone's slowly starting to adapt to the meta, right? Which is half the teams go for early kills and then the other half are going for the late game situation.
I think you need to really adjust, right, in terms of where you're landing, right? We've seen a couple times where, Bermuda, you've kind of had that, like, if it's going in hot and there are other teams there, you're going to have a problem, right? So maybe you want to settle down a little bit. If the meta right now is being aggressive, you need to adjust and play a little bit more passively, right? So that you're not getting into those firefights, and maybe you're looking at third party, you get your points that way. So you need to really adjust and understand what the other teams are doing to really make that good decision. But, I'll leave it up to Beef. What are your thoughts on that one?
Now, this is so funny just because in Group A versus Group B, we saw a complete dominance of Group B. And now for Group B and Group C, it's still Group B that's actually doing so much slaying already. So for Bermuda, SAF definitely wants to win this just because they haven't been doing such a great job in the last 2 rounds. So definitely it's not going to be easy for them, especially knowing very well that Blacklist International and Fastkill didn't really do well as well. So it's anyone's ballgame.
Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of surprises from these teams, and I like to be surprised, like what happened from the previous round. So hopefully they brought a lot more on these next matchup, because we're expecting this Bermuda. There's a lot, they've done a lot already that they can show us. So hopefully they can show us more.
All right, looks like the match is ready, so we're going to throw it back to our casters Neptune and Beef. Take it away for our 4th game of the day.
And here we go, the 4th game of the day. We have Bermuda, the green grass, and the buildings aside as well. We have this flight coming over, from the east into the north, and I think the south side of this area will be a little bit thin, spread thin for our teams, because they've already went in onto those landings, Beef.
Yeah, and you just need to have that position well, knowing that the circle is probably going to that middle map. That's the most likely, but we see another team here. I don't quite see what it is going to be, but Sentosa is going to be, usually one team is going to drop off over there, but we see actually 2 teams, which is so surprising to me. But then here we go. It's going to be FSK yet again. They really need to have that redemption. Fastkill didn't really get to have a chance to really prove everything today, but it just seems like Wills is going to be that team, but it's not going to be easy because Wills did a great job a while ago landing that 3rd spot.
Yeah, I mean, fast kill right here is really aiming for those fast kills. I think a reason why they jumped off early is because they don't want to be on top of a different team, because they want to get ready once they are in engagement. And as you can see, no one is moving that much apart from Yoon, who is just flanking. But here we go, we have Ali in here taking some shots and doing some damage against XBR, and XBR right now are regrouping and split on a 1-3, and that might be trouble for Guns at that moment if he is pushed from that side.
Oh, for a moment there, I actually thought it was Wheels because they had like a similar logo to them, both skulls. But you know what? Both very deadly teams. So again, they're actually going to be disengaging. So that's going to be very impressive to me. And no, I actually don't think they're going to be engaging. Oh, okay. He went all the way there just to pick up the motorcycle, and that's what they needed. The distraction from XBR, and especially going to that push. This is the playmaker. Shark is going to be that person that you can actually go and rely on. He's going to be that distraction. He's going to be getting some shots, and he knows that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good gameplay in there. What we've seen previously is when you get the motorcycle, at least you'll hear some gunshots and you'll get the location. Hopefully, they'll be able to survive here. Yoon almost in there being taken out, but Yoon was able to get back and get the first blood on this fight. Now, XBR not looking good. We have guns in there on the other side. Evo ZR on the far side as well. And we have one member in here a little bit too near from the side of Fast Kill, and who might be the next who will be taken down.
Yoon almost getting his life taken away from him, but then it's a good thing he was able to respond. Not only did he able to catch up with his health, but also get one kill for his team. But then they need to figure out the next few steps though, just because they are going to be a little bit more spread out. It's still very doable for XBR to actually get one person from the side of Fast Kill. So for the side of Fast Kill, it's up to them if they want to keep engaging and commit into this gunfight, knowing very well they might lose a member or two. So it's all up to XBR as well, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be engaging just because they're not going to be able to go away very easily.
I mean, what I have in my mind right now is hopefully in the next 30 seconds, they'll be able to at least pull away or eliminate a team, because they're a little bit too far from Sentosa. They might be a little bit too far from the rest of the teams or the next circle. So they will be struggling to rush in. Though, yes, we know the first to the second will not hurt that much, but they might be gate capped, and that might be trouble for them, even if they'll be able to eliminate or win this early engagement by on this fight. I still couldn't tell if it's Fast Kill or XBR who'll be able to win, but hopefully they finish this early on.
XBR still has a chance to actually back away, and especially going into that northern side of the map, they can still do it. But then, obviously, it's not going to be easy. You know what? We're taking a look at Fast Kill right now versus XBR. I feel like there's nothing going on in the map. This is probably going to be one of the more interesting ones, right? And you can see here, 47 people still left here. So yes, the gunfight is going to be on the side right now onto that Sentosa Island. But no, let's take a look right now at Auto Knockout. They're still chilling. There's no one alive here in this area. And there's going to be one team, though, that's going to be giving it some shots. It's going to be AKO yet again, taking a lot of that. And Umbrella is going to be losing one person and maybe getting another one. Not quite sure. Auto Knockout absolutely knocking everyone out. They need to do well, just because the last game, they were honestly, in Tagalog, it's called Kolelad. That means you're going to be the last placer.
Well, we have to see them move up, but Umbrella right now is quite in a pickle, because Auto Knockout, yep, they have been taken out early from the previous round, but like what was mentioned earlier, they have great potential, and I think with that, hopefully they're not disappointed. They have that motivation to get back and redeem themselves. But another team in here is XBR, so XBR was able to get away from that engagement earlier, and like what I mentioned earlier, they need to move fast, because if they get stuck onto the circle as it closes in, and then they will be gate kept by the rest of the team, it might be more troublesome for them compared to getting away from the engagement.
Now, this is what I like to see. Just because you're going to be seeing a lot of the engagements really pull through. Did they just miss the water or something? What the heck is happening with XBR? They're just falling into pieces. They're in shambles. Why would you just jump off the bridge just like that? You should just target the water. But it's a good thing they were able to get away from that fight, because for sure they're not going to be able to win that, especially knowing very well that Samurai is going to be going down. Fast Kill just applying that pressure early on. That's the start that they needed, just because they were basically having a hard time a while ago. So XPR just living one more day, but let's see what is going to happen, especially going to the late game.
Yeah, I mean, pulling away is not a sense of cowardice. I mean, it's a tactical retreat that you can do unless you're put in a spot wherein you really have no choice but to fight. But this time, they have a choice to fight or to get away and avoid fighting right now. So far, we're looking at the map right here, and oh, it is in the north or south area. We're in the next circle, and this is quite surprising. Most of the flight path is coming in like across the north area of the map, and the next circle will be in the south. So this might be troublesome for those who just jump off a little bit too far up north.
up north going into the south, and I really like seeing that. And maybe this is going to be the time that we're finally going to be seeing that final circle go into the water. Please just give it to me, RNG god, just please. But anyway, so again, another team that has been a little bit struggling, but then they actually did well a while ago in one of those games. We have Freedom Rumble. Freedom Rumble has been doing a little bit of a so-so job. They've been struggling, yes, but they've been showing up. They for sure want to qualify, but what they need and what they want is going to definitely be that booyah.
I mean, yeah, it's a good push if they'll be able to get that booyah. But on the other side, I think Saf right now is already releasing some carnage into the hands of PXG, because we just saw a grenade kill in there from the side of Saf, taking down 2 members of PXG, and Barba in there has been taken down. Probably not yet eliminated just yet. We'll have to find out. But PXG might be in trouble, in a pickle in there. And this is 4th round. It is like a deja vu that we've seen in there. But we have a Blacklist International right now. One has been taken down in there, but another one will be knocked out. We have Manflank and Cobra, but no! Blacklist International would be the first team to be eliminated on this match.
What an upset! Blacklist International is struggling in day number 2. 4 X-Men does the job and just eliminates every single team that comes in their way in Blacklist International. Now that is one team that is not easy to beat. It just seems to be like Purgatory is not going to be their map. Kalahari, yes, maybe, but we're not going to be seeing it here. The balance is not going to be here. Umbrella is going to be down all members already, and it's going to be 11 spot for them. 10 teams left here.
Unfortunately, Auto Knockout has lost one of their members. Taken has been taken away, and they are now left with 3. Now, the question is, will they be able to get back onto the fight? Yep, they were able to get the 4 kills, the 4 points that they need, but will they survive with only 3 members? Here we go, 4X right now, still in the rampage, going in for those kills, and they really want to get back up. They just eliminated Blacklist International in there, and they want to do more. They have missed on the booyah plenty of times, as well as a ranking high, but we know that they have what it takes.
4 X-Men is going to be in that 4th spot in the overall standings, but then not today, just because we already know that they've been doing such a good job here in Purgatory. Getting rid of Blacklist International is not a joke in any map, and for Purgatory, it seems to be like their absolute kryptonite. So another engagement is going to be ensuing here, PXG Radicals versus SAF. Now, these 2 Goliaths have been going at it for the past 2 maps. Why? Well, this is because they've been just winning it, and PXG Radicals with 3 booyahs already to their name, Saf with 2, and obviously Saf wants to get a 3rd as well.
Yeah, I'm quite I don't know. I'm nervous for this team, because they might be getting the upset of their life on this match, because they are going against 2 members, and so far PXG side no kills just yet. So if they will be eliminated, they will be ending up just like what happened on round or match number 2. They will be ending up with 0 with a donut, or with match number 1. I'm sorry, just correct me if I'm wrong, but they will be going in for a donut with that match, and we don't want to see a team in there just go down from the top down at the bottom. We want a little bit of consistency, that was mentioned by Holler earlier, and we just want to see them move up. Now, Almighty right now is in here also waiting for their chance, and this is all 3 Filipino teams right now just in the same place, Beef.
Yes, the Kababayans not going to be having that spirit over here, as these teams really want to have the elimination. So Almighty doing a little bit of an okay job here in this competition, being in the middle. And they've been struggling, though. We already know they've top frag into that early game, but then they can't seem to actually go in there for the late game gameplay. But then they're not going to be comfortable. They are ranking 12th at the overall standing, so they need to come through with a lot of these kills. But they've been struggling in Group B. Seems to be like they're such a formidable force, just because they keep winning, and so far all 3 matches have all been Group B. Group C needs to pull up, but then Blacklist International is going to be out of the mix. 4 X-Men, though, they still have a chance, but then MTX with a lot of these kills already. Metrics is going to be so impressive for me, just because they've been performing so well in the 2 rounds they've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great job that Metrics in there was almost being able to get that booyah on the previous round, but going against 4X right now, who just eliminated Blacklist International, this will be a great achievement for them. But right now, they might be going in trouble as Side 4 has been taken down, is now being revived, but here comes a push by 4X men, and I don't think they will be stopping at any point in here. They will be bringing on the chaos as 2-man has already been taken down. The third is in there, is now left to Rin in there, and Metrics will be taken down. 4X, the aggressive team, already with 9 kills.
4X men in an absolute rage. They're on a rampage right now. For every team that they go through, they just stomp all over the place. But then speaking of stomping, Almighty almost had a stomping of their own, but then Batman is going to be able to go in for that heal. The glue wall in place, but then seems to be like they might be having a hard time just because we can see PXG Radicals is slowly going in there trying to go for that kill. But no, it's actually not PXG. It's going to be Freedom Rumble. There's so many teams that will be surrounding them. Just when they go outside, it's going to be PXG Radicals really just having that time of their life.
Yeah, I mean, we have in here Freedom Rumble just rushed in Almighty in there. Hopefully they'll be able to bring back up those teams. But no, Batman was able to go in for the grenade kill, but Cause will be coming back with the grenade launcher. 2-man has been taken down. Shira right now in the process of being picked up. Batman and JC, Ren and Shira might still be alive, but no, Batman will be going down as Frags goes in for the push and elimination in there by Freedom Rumble, but in the cause of losing Batman.
And that was a really good push. I mean, they had no choice. We saw the glue wall gameplay was just absolutely amazing. Ren almost got taken out, but then was able to actually just put himself in the corner and just really defend himself with the walls. And now that was very interesting to see. One nade could actually just change everything, but I feel like for the side of Freedom Rumble, they just didn't have any utilities to work with. But then PXG Radicals right now taking a lot of these shots. Oh no, 4X Men is going to be having a bit of a tougher right now just because PXG Radicals has a really good position, and 4X, they actually didn't go in for the position. They didn't promote it. They didn't go in there. They went instead for the kills, but then right now, they're going to be hunted.
Yeah, I mean, 4X was able to take down one member from SAF in there, and they will be surprised as PXG is going to shoot them down because they're closer to that point. Probably they just went in for the snipe on the far end and saw SAF in there go in and went in for that shot and for that knockout, but we have PXG who heard them take that shot and is now going in against them.
3 teams, 3 Goliath teams just right here in this little hut, in this little house. Is going to be SAF versus 4X Men versus PXG. That is going to be absolute insanity. And Barba is going to be having that support. Just seeing someone from above that rock, no one's going to be up in that hill. They need to have a lot of presence here. And there's so many people. XBR is also going to be on top over there.
Yeah, Almighty in there, in spite of losing Batman, they are still in the fighting spirit going against XBR. On the other side, we have Tanamo in there going in for knockdown, but 4S taking down Ramiel in there, and we have PXG taking a little bit of what they gave out. They are being naded out in here and being knocked down. 4X right now going for the push, and there you go, Goku in there for the hit against Tanamo, and we have in there one man knocked down from the side of Swade, but no, PXG Radicals will be eliminated at this part. 4X right now has a tendency or opportunity to go in against SAF the moment that they pick up that one member down.
PXG Radicals had the upper hand, but then sadly the glue walls just didn't pull through just because of how heavily they had to utilize it against another team. And then it's going to be Almighty's turn right now. The carnage is going to ensue. It's not going to be easy for them, but then they're still taking a lot of these shots. XBR is going to be going down. They're also going to be taking down Jabat as well. 4X Men is going to be down one person. 3 versus 2. They're still staffed though. They need to problematize the fact that there's going to be one more. Greyball is going to be going down. Spade and Goku is going to be the only people left. 13 kills left to their name though. That is so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Cannot has been eliminated already. Hopefully, 4X will be able to get back in here because if they hit this SAF and eliminated them, this will be a lot of kills for their side, and this is what they're looking for, especially from the previous, from the upset from the previous day. Now, here comes the circle, slowly closing in, and we have Goku right now, a little bit too strong for the rest of the teams, but no, on the other side, it is Wills who will be eliminated by the auto knockout, and here comes Goku, just regrouping, just healing up, going solo right now, going against 2 members of SAP right here. Will he be able to clutch this and move away, or will this be the takedown of 4X right here? Here comes Goku being pushed, but there you go, to come back in here, and Goku taking 2 down from SAP and surviving that fight. 15 kills from 4X Man Expert.
Goku with the 2-piece just got rid of Sap, just fall by himself. That is absolutely crazy, but it's going to be having a hard time as Auto Knockout has 3 members left to their name. But then we can see here FSK as well, looking like they're going to be in a very good spot. Fast Kill MY, they did such a good job a while ago with the opening fire, but then they're going to be able to do so as well. They were able to utilize that time and just use that time to go in there for the push. 4 teams left here in the mix, 1 person left. Goku's going to be in trouble as Gil's going to be able to actually spot him, but then eliminated already. Almighty and Jay-Z, just like that, trade after trade. There's going to be 2 spots left. It's going to be Auto Knockout versus Fast Skill.
Auto Knockout right now, in here, going in for the push against 3 members of Fast Skill. Now, this will be interesting. If not Auto Knockout and the rest of the teams, or the rest of the team will be able to push and take this win, because we're just waiting for them to get that booyah. But Rosok right now, slowly moving in the push, and we have Fast Skill right now, who's just stuck. They are not going in. They're just waiting for the chance to wait as the final circle goes in. But here comes Sir Backstab against Rosok. And Fast Skill has been eliminated on a knockout, finally, with that booyah!
Oh no, so close but so far, and Fast Kill always getting the block, and that is just so unfortunate. But Auto Knockout finally having their first booyah as X-Phonics, X-Fortaken, X-Rosox, and X-Nga, X-Decox. Oh, that is going to be a very hard name to actually go and pronounce, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. Auto Knockout's doing such an amazing job, and they actually deserve it. It was such a quick turnaround. That was a complete 180 from the previous matchup. They finally have a booyah. So you know what? We're 50-50. The girls versus the boys. Yeah, you know what? We're having that. If they're having 1 more win, then I'm gonna be saying sorry. You guys were right. But you know what? There's still 1 more chance for them to pull through.
I mean, day 2 is full of surprises, and this is another surprise for us. Auto Knockout has been, what do you call this? Like a medium, and showing us that they don't want to go in on the top just yet. But this time, they just went in there, went in for those push, and went in for those kill, and finally, the booyah in there. Now, this is day number 2, guys. For those of you watching right now, hopefully you are in here just hanging back, because we're going to invite our host in here and ask them what they think about the next match, or about this match.
Well, Hola, what do you think about that match?
What do you think? AKO, I told you, this is a team that you cannot sleep on. Yeah, they had a bad one, and they did make me bad when I made that call, but they came back strong, right? They have the skills, mechanically, they are fine, right? And I just want to call out again, Blacklist, your call got 12th, all right? So it just reversed it with AKO, so I hope you like them apples, okay? So that happened with their SAF got knocked out a little bit early, about 6th, Freedom Rumble around 9th or so, but the biggest thing for me was that PXG and SAF is it seemed like they were playing possum throughout the game. They didn't really want to take any fights, and they were kind of just playing hide and seek more than anything else.
Can we also just talk about a big standout performer, which was 4 X-Men? They got, I think, how many kills? Was it 15? They had so many kills before they went down. I mean, yes, they didn't get the booyah, but 4th place with all the kills that they got, I almost want to say they're probably topping the leaderboard after that round.
Yeah, a really good round for them, and that's pretty much what you need, right? You need to go aggressive. We've seen the meta shift. The top teams are saying, hey, we got our lead, we want to protect it, we just want to survive for the end game. But for X-Men, we're like literally taking it out of the Marvel comic book, you know, storyline of just, hey, we're going to take the fight to them. We don't want to do that. We're going to go in and we're just going to get as many kills as possible, and they got more points than, hey, a booyah would have given them. So props to them. But Neptune, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been surprised plenty of times, and 4 X-Men is really, I think they're trying to get back in there when they went in on a 2nd, and this time, yeah, they were dominating all those kills. Anyone who just go against them, just eliminating, and if I'm not mistaken, they just ended up with before being taken out, just one member, but still kills are still going around from them, especially from Shark in there. We know Shark is really feeding off some of the teams in here and just killing them. And yep, 15 plus a few more in there, that'll be a lot of points for 4X-Men.
Beef, I want to ask you, do you think you might be able to guess who's going to be top of the leaderboard? Do you think it's 4X-Men, or do you feel that they may have fallen short after coming fourth?
Well, there's still a lot of chances for them to actually really just win this, just because I think PXG Radicals didn't really do a good job. So yes, I feel like with the kill points for this particular match, for this round, yes, they're going to be able to get into that top spot. Just because I'm not quite sure if Auto Knockout had a lot of kills, so the placement points might not even be enough. So I really want to see what actually happened to the point where SAF and also PXG, what went wrong, and also for Blacklist International, that was such an upset.
There's too many fights. I mean, it was a drop. It was like a mistake right from the beginning. And there was just too many teams, just ultimate chaos right from the get-go. They were completely caught off guard. That's really not where you want to be. You want to go, you want to be aggressive. I get that. But you, at the same time, you want to be aggressive in places where not a whole lot of teams will land. Unfortunately, that was not the case. And you saw what happened there. Just completely caught off guard. Just way too many players right there.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the highlights, and it seems that for X-Men for this round, they focused on trying to gatekeep the edge of the circle, which is a really nice strategy if you want to try and go for those pickoffs. But again, I mean, I think we've already spoken about this. If you're going to play aggressive, you will also put your own team at risk of just being downright eliminated, because sometimes it happens. You don't know if there's another party, if there's another team nearby that could potentially third party. You don't know where everyone is going to be, and also you don't know how well equipped your targets are, right? Because when you're roaming this much and you're not looting, there's a chance that you are actually undergeared, and you could be attacking a much more prepared team.
It's all about life. It's all about just, you know, getting that arsenal so that you can fight. So yeah, there is a bit of luck involved in terms of just starting off, making sure you get that clear loot. But, I mean, let's look at the standings right now in the sense of just see where all of the teams are. I mean, 4X-Men Expert, like, it doesn't matter about the booyah, right? It's all about the kills, and 16 kills will definitely put you up at the top.
Just 1 point over AKO, but this is just a really good example of if you have a fantastic round with kill points, if you just finish in the middle of the pack, you are still solid. And for X-Men, 23 points. I think they're very happy with this round. Yes, they didn't booyah, but you're still going to end up first in this round.
It's going to be very different. And now, okay, well, they had a disastrous Group B versus C blacklist, that is, in the sense that they have, I think they got like a point last round. They got 0 points, a donut in this one. They really need to step it up. Now, they're going to be going up against Group A, and you talked about, you know, Group A being somewhat weaker in that sense. But now, what is your team? I'm going to call out, you know, let's go with B first. What is the team that you need to look out for in this Group A versus C? Are you still riding this blacklist train?
I mean, from what we saw the past 2 rounds, it just seems like Group C is in shambles. Actually, also Group A is in shambles as well, because Group B, we've been seeing the 4 straight games that we've had, and it's all been Group B. We have AKO, we also have SAF, we also have PXG Radicals. So I don't know, it's anyone's ball game right now, but I feel like for the side of Group C, this is probably the time that they might shine, just because of out of all of the groups, I feel like Group A still needs to go in for at least 1 win out of everyone. I think it was Group A that actually just lacks that 1 booyah.
I'm actually really keen.
What about you, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, Group C is a strong group, but we like to see more of Group A on the next matches with Argon in there just popping off early on in the match. Hopefully they didn't rest that much and lost that momentum, but Group C is still on the push, and Blacklist International might be going in back into the game. Hopefully they haven't lost anything just yet, so I'm still excited. I still want to be surprised on the A and C groupings.
I'm gonna sit on my prediction. I think I'm gonna think about mine after we come back from our commercial break. But before then, of course, we're just gonna remind all of our wonderful viewers at home that we still have our code for the day. Make sure you redeem it as well, because at the end of today, if you don't claim it by 5 o'clock, keep it in mind, 5 o'clock, or when the stream ends, you're going to miss out on an opportunity for some free gun boxes. We're giving away 2 free gun boxes to all of our viewers that tune into the stream. So as you can see down below, type that code in, claim that box, and give us a high five, because you've been a fantastic Free Fire community. Have you guys claimed yours?
I have,
log
yes.
I
Oh, you
didn't
gotta
have
do
enough
it when you're
time.
casting. Oh, you do it when you're casting. Can't you multitask? No.
Oh yeah, actually, you know what? I was on Free Fire actually while I was casting. No joke, I was on it. See, look at that. I'm gonna be showing you right now. I'm on Free Fire.
It seems to be invisible. Sponsored by what's that? MCP? I'm kidding. Alright guys, make sure to claim your code because at the end of today you won't be able to get it and you will regret, you'll miss out, and at the end of the day, it's not my problem. Ask your fellow viewers if you miss out on the code. I'm very sure someone will help out. Now, we are going to go for a quick commercial break in just a moment to prepare teams A and C. So make sure when you go to the break, go to the toilet, grab your snacks, make sure you come back as soon as possible because once we're back, we're going to have some non-stop Free Fire action. We'll see you after this little break.
3 days to go.
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 There is 3 more days.
Armato Tindin, are you ready?
¿Estás listo?
Adakah anda sudah bersedia?
Are you ready?
Are you ready for it? Are you ready? 你准备好了吗？
هل أنتم جاهزون يا أساطير لعيد ميلاد فري فاير الرابع؟
Let's tune up for the party.
Let's turn up for the party.
Tune up for the party.
Let's turn up for the party.
Let's tune up for the party.
Let's tune up for the party.
3 days to go.
Are you ready?
Wait, anime! Booyah!
Absolutely bombed and taken up by MS-25. That's 2 down for AB's Tigers, and their aggression has not really paid off, as now they will get overwhelmed by the members of Freedom Rumble. Jaboy was going to be the third one on chopping block. Comstas get down as Arpav will take Red Panda down. Jaboy was the last man alive, and it seems like Freedom Rumble will be forfeited for sure. Shaw's trying to help out, but isn't going to run into 3 different crosshairs.
Run, my
That is
boy.
not good for Shaw. They're going to try and gun them down. In fact, they will. Shaw's a down. MS-25 picks him up, and now MS-25 pushes on forward. XL with the third one, and Shot will be eliminated. Catch up to Geek Fam. Can they do it? They got one down. Calls at the window. They're rushing in. They're gonna take out Comp. Dress goes for a rotation, but he takes himself out. Comp down. This is it. AKO. Not gonna make it. Back international. They haven't seen him yet, but now they do. Mr. D.
Hello and welcome back to day 2 of the MCP Majors Season 2. My name is Holler and with me is Danny, and we've already seen 4 matches. And what are your thoughts so far, Danny?
I think Group B is a little crazy. They've gone absolutely bonkers today. I didn't think Group B would play so well because we saw yesterday Group B, fantastic matchups against Group A, but then we saw Group C sort of counter them. But then today we just saw absolute Group B domination and the fall of Group C. So going into this next and final matchup for today, which is A versus C, is there a chance that A could really just catch up in terms of points, right? Because yesterday, Group C, they hogged a lot of the points from the other teams. Group A has been struggling because a lot of people see this as the weaker team. It could be the possibility, but at the end of the day, we won't know until the match starts.
I mean, it's never say die, right? I think if you catch teams on an off day, this is the right time to do it. Make sure you get as many points as you can. But I mean, 4X Men expert, right? This is a team that is still in Group C, so they're still, a titan in that group. You got to respect them. You need to ensure that, hey, this is a team that can just go out and just literally John Wick everybody, because they had 16 kills in that last match, and I expect nothing but continued dominance, at least in the kill range. So you do need to be careful of where this team is on the map at all times.
I mean, most of Group C is really scary, right? You got 4X Men, Fast Kill MY. These guys are basically hunting from the get-go as soon as they land from the drop zone. Blacklist International was another good contender, although they've been a little bit weak today. We'll have to see if Blacklist can pick up after their terrible round in Groups B. We'll take a look at the standings really quickly before we jump into the matchups as well. And as you can see, we've got a Supreme Assault Force still sitting pretty in first place, but there's a good opportunity for 4X Men to actually catch up, and the same could be said for AKO Legends.
And look at this, Argon Malaysia, right? They had one amazing first round. They got the booyah, or sorry, they did not get the booyah, but they got the most points on that first match. But they're still at the bottom, right? They still have a long way to go. Now is the time when you're gonna maybe catch Group C off at a little bit of an off game. This is the time to kind of make sure that you get as many points as possible. I want these teams in the bottom 6 to really step it up this time, especially for your Group A. Now is the time. It's now or never. You better get yourself back in the game.
Yeah, and realistically speaking, the only team that's actually going to be able to make the climb to first place here from the next 2 games could potentially be 4X Men, okay? But I'm trying to do a little bit of math here. Now, for them to even have a chance at passing SAF, I think they need to get about 40 points. Is like 30 or 40 points for the next 2 rounds, which we saw last round. It is possible if they have a very good round, but it's a lot to ask for, right? Because we are assuming, or I'm assuming at least, that 4X Men is going to be able to secure at least 20 points for the next 2 rounds. And Free Fire, there's a lot of factors that we don't know until it happens.
And it also looks like it's a bit skewed right now in the sense that Supreme Air Force, all the Group B teams had 2 more matches, right? So this is why there's a little bit of a lead right now. But yeah, I do agree that 4X Men, they're in prime position to overtake them. They need to keep this momentum going. They have 2 matches left. That's all we have for the rest of today. It's going to be Group A versus Group C. So again, I feel like now is the time. Make sure you exert dominance. You really want to be in the top 3 going into the first weekend closing, with the end of today.
So if anything, all eyes are going to be on 4X Men. Can they secure these 40 points in the next 2 rounds? It's a big question. I think they can, especially after their last round. They've got to be sitting on that high. We saw PXG Radicals. They had a horrible game 1 today. Game 2, they went off, and then game 3, they also went off. So maybe they could be sitting on the exact same high that PGX Radicals have. We'll have to find out.
I'm a believer. I think it's going to happen. We have Purgatory coming up next. It's going to be Neptune and Beef Mommy. They're going to take it away. Thank you so much.
Well,
thank you very much.
That's basically it. Thank you very much indeed. It's like, you know what? A lot of things have already happened. 4 straight games, and 4 straight games Group B has showed it up. But you know what? Group A and Group C need to show up in this day number 2, just because the pressure is on them. And especially going into this round, it's going to be Group A's time to shine. They need to. No one in their spot actually has a booyah. So, you know what? Someone needs to go and shine. And I think, you know what? I'm feeling like it could be Bloody Heads. But how about you, Neptune? Who do you think from Group A can actually take a booyah today? That rhyme.
Well, we still have a few teams in there that I like to look into, like Bloody Heads, Argon, Do Easy. But again, we have seen Group C who fell off a little bit from the previous matches. If that happens again in here and Group A started moving up and being aggressive, or probably not just aggressiveness, but dominance onto these matches, then we'll be able to see them move up into the ranks. Still, a lot of surprises is expected. Well, I don't know. A lot of surprises is expected. I think that's ironic right now, Beef.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, not really that ironic, just because you already know that there's going to be a lot of surprises. So A lot of upsets though. Now that's the one that's ironic, just because the upset that we've been seeing, Blacklist International not being able to really just match it up. They've been going into the bottom half and going at the 12th place already into that last half. Now that is going to be something that they need to go through. So it's going to be pressure for them because they were supposed to be that particular map up to actually go and win that particular round. So you know what? Speaking of, it's going to be a new map yet again. Purgatory is going to be the name of the game. This is going to be the third time we're going to be seeing it here today, just because we've seen a lot of great matches. Let's see if it's going to be the same way right now.
Yeah, I mean, it might be different. We've seen a lot of difference from each match and each group. So yeah, I still want to be surprised. Now, the teams right now are going in from the south or from the east, going into a little bit of northwest in there. But teams are already gathering up on to Forge right now. Two teams are already in there. I think another team will be heading it over a little bit by Ski Lodge, and it's a high tier loot area. Now the rest in there will be going in the middle, especially Almighty. We know Almighty, who usually ends up in the middle of the map, like what we're seeing right now. Now Blacklist International going in for the 1-3 split right now up north, unable to go further into Moat House as what they did early on onto this day. Now we have Metrics right now, another team that might have a chance to go in for the Booyah. They prove a lot of potential at this point, Beef.
Yeah, absolutely. The potential is there. It's just they're not able to pull through at the very end. And they can actually go and eliminate very aggressive and amazing teams as well into that top tier. But let's see if they're going to be able to pull through in that late game, just because they've been struggling. And yes, they've been into that late game already, but they need to be consistent. And another team that needs to be consistent as well is going to be ITX and Wills. We're going to be seeing them having this early engagement. It's all up to Wills, though, if they want to engage, because I feel like ITX actually kind of has that upper hand because we have a lot of loot in this particular area. So they need to be smart in order to be able to actually get a lot of these kills. I feel like for the side of Wheels, they shouldn't engage anymore just because of how much loot we can see ITX already has, and for Wheels as well. Oh, but then no, speaking of, Embalor is going to be able to actually get that one kill. Speaking of, and just as I said that Wheels might not be able to get through, they always just prove them wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Will's in there, especially in with the case of Embalor. We know Embalor as an accurate player when it comes to long distance, and you don't just go out in the open in there when you have Will's, well, unless you know that it's Will's in there. So I guess ITX didn't know and was just not expecting a hit from Embalor in there. But still, a good shot, a first blood, and ITX right now, I think they're backing off because they don't want to be eliminated early on to this match.
Yeah, they don't want to be out so early on, and Embalor always doing such a great job already. He's always winning those really long-range engagements, and that's what we know him for, especially going into that with the AR, with a sniper, or whatever gun he actually has. So hopefully, it's going to be the same case, just because Will's already had one win, one booyah, but they need to be consistently getting those booyahs and consistently getting those kills.
Yeah, I mean, booyahs will help you a lot, but yeah, those skills will definitely. It has been mentioned earlier, but if you have a lot of kills, you might be able to overtake those who are taking the booyah, and it's still a good stats in there if you look at it, because despite of not getting a booyah and you get a lot of kills, your average is higher, and more chances wherein you'll be able to stand out on this matchup and get back on, probably get up into the rankings, probably a second, a third, or if you cannot get a booyah at this point.
So for right now, we actually don't really get to see the circle quite yet. So it's really up to anyone's RNG good luck if it is going to happen. So Almighty is going to be placing themselves right in smack dab in the middle of the map in Brasilia. But then, oh, Metrics is going to be able to actually take some shots. EMX does go down so early on, and Mankai does so much damage already, but then they're taking shots as well, finally getting that kill.
Yeah, hopefully they're not upset enough to lose any motivation that they have against their second place earlier, and this is their chance to go and get back up. Metrics right now is doing a great job from the earlier matches that we've seen, and they have a chance to get a lot more kills in here in the front of Enigmax, as they are going in, already taking one man down from the side of Enigmax and Vito, as well as Well, I think this is it Go 10 right now that we're looking at? But no, the grenade hit in there against a Manchai in there. And we have a Rin OP trying to go in on the backup. Hopefully they'll be able to pick up Manchai in there. Otherwise, might be a loss for Metrics.
Beautiful nade, but then they weren't able to actually go in for the push and not just wasting that basically really good grenade. And right now it's still MTX, it's still Metrics, it's still in their hands to actually go in there for the push. And Enigmax needs to go in for the response. They had such a great opener already with that grenade, but then they weren't able to go in push already, not be able to utilize that nade shot. So again, they're going to be taking a lot of damage already going into that trailer. They're going to be pushed, they're going to be pinched, and that's not going to be good right now. And I feel like there's going to be an early exit. And speaking of an early exit, Enigmax is going to be eliminated. Now that is going to be very unfortunate to see. One team from Group A is going to see bye-bye.
Yeah, I mean, Enigma's in there has the opportunity to go in, probably bounce it off on a 3v3, but they didn't follow it up that quickly. And Manchai has been picked up, and then he was the one who got the last kill from their team. So unfortunate for Enigmax, and good job for Metrics in there. I'm looking at them earlier, and like what I mentioned, I want to see most of the teams pop off, especially those who are like mid to the bottom of our rankings. Bloody Heads right now is in here. We are still waiting for them to do a great job, but right now all they can do is just get a good position and get a great placement or a good placement onto the rankings. Not as much or not that much on the kills as well as the booyah.
Yeah, they need to have that balance, and you always need to strike that balance, not only in game, but also in life. And it really is going to be showing up over here. And as the circle is going to be, unsurprisingly, going to be in the very middle of the map, we're going to be seeing a very great presence right now for Sad Almighty, just giving a lot of damage already to whatever team is going to be right in front of them. It's going to be fast kill. Now, that's going to be very impressive. We're going to be seeing that early engagement going in here in Brasilia. And for Almighty, yes, they do a lot of good deals, especially into that early rounds, but it's not going to be easy for the side of Fast Kill. But Fast Kill, it's not really a good day for them. They haven't been really performing so well. So hopefully we're going to be seeing a different group right now, a different team in the side of Fast Kill, but Almighty's definitely not going to let that happen.
Yeah, a lot of teams are in here are really switching up their gameplays. A lot of things has been happening. Those that are unexpected to win and dominate are doing it right now. And Almighty right here are still on that chilling game. I mean, they keep waiting. And we've talked about that. No matter how long you wait, if you've been taken out mid the way without taking any kills, you'll be ending up at the bottom of the rankings in there. Well, yeah, probably a good placement, but the kills will not suffice to be able to get to the top. Now, Almighty needs to change that up if they want to move a little bit more higher, but we are talking about moving up and higher into the ranks. This is just day 2, so I think that is why they're not really giving it that much and showing everything that they have.
They need to show us what they got. And right now, they're having a very hard time to actually go in there and play aggressively, which is good because we always see them play so aggressively in the beginning. So this is the type of change that we like to see. But then 4X Men is going to be that one team that has been doing so well this competition so far. They've been consistent, yes, but they've been struggling already. But then 4th spot, yes, they're going to be securing themselves in that top 12. But knowing 4X Men, they want to get that win. It's only just like one more team that will actually stop them from doing so, and that's probably AKO. They're not going to be here though, so 4X Men will definitely be able to go in there, especially if they do and play their cards right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 4X Men Expert are doing great, especially on previous rounds that we've seen today, guys. This is the turnaround day. Not quite sure what happened yesterday or earlier today or last night. What they did, what motivation they gave to the teams, but this is a turnaround day for everyone. And here we go. Oh, Mark has been thrown away in there. Mark right now almost losing his life, but only a few HP in here with the glue wall. in there. I think it's a vehicle who threw off Mark in there. The Bloody Heads is in trouble as CJ and Morgana will be taken down. Now another disappointment if they'll be eliminated on this fight. Cryfu will be down and Mark's the only one remaining. It is Set Squad that's eating Bloody Heads at this point. Now Mark right now trying to survive, trying to go in for the backstab in there, but no, will that work? No, it is Bloody Heads eliminated early on to this match. Set Squad takes that win.
Bloody Heads was just so open, and with Mark having only that sniper with the scope, that is not going to be a gun that you want in those fights. He should have went in and picked up another gun, and having that time to ADS into your scope, that's going to take so much time already, and that is going to be terrible in the close range gunfight. Yes, you can probably, take one person out, but then you are going to be surrounded by 4 people, so that's not going to be very pretty. But you can see here at the very right side of the map, the kill feed is going to be absolutely crazy already. 10 teams still left here, and again we're going to be taking a look right now for this team that has been struggling just a little bit. Fast Kill needs to find that redemption.
Definitely Fast Kill and as well as Do Easy who is in front of them, and these are teams that really has a name in the Free Fire community. Now we just need them to pop off or probably get that momentum. The moment that they get those great those great engagement and great takedowns of an opposing team and probably a booyah, that might be the shift that they need to be able to move up further. Now Argon on the other side, yes, they did great on earlier of this day, but hopefully they'll be able to maintain that and be consistent on this next 2 matches.
Yeah, Argon just seems to be like they're a little bit inconsistent in terms of their plays here, and I don't think it's just in the map. I don't think it doesn't matter what map they actually play in. I think that was just like one time that they were able to get rid of PXG radicals so early on already in that map number 1, and oh, what? This is so surprising to me. We can see Blacklist International already down 2 people. Phoenix and Cobra is going to be the only people left, and of course it's going to be 4 X-Men that's going to be basically digging their grave.
But there you go, we have Cobra right now. Oh, going in for 1, but will be taken out as well. Now, Phoenix right now going too far from this engagement, and 1 member from 4X-Men will be picked up. They are still 4-man strong. Now, we have Phoenix right here, a little bit too far, and I don't think he will be moving closer to that battle because he needs to survive. If he might not be able to get any kills at this point, at least a placement will suffice.
I don't know if Phoenix that went away. That was actually really hard to see because it was going to be a 4v2 situation, but I feel like if Phoenix was there, he probably could have still had at least 1 kill. But no, he already went out and basically just left his teammate to charge all on his own. I feel like they should have just went out in their way, played a little bit more passively, and went out to their safety. But no, for some reason, Phoenix was out, and the other teammate, which I forgot who that was going to suffer and charge there all alone. So that kind of push was really questionable to me. And I'm thinking about their comms. It's like, did they even communicate, and did they even know that Phoenix was already going out of his way to get out and be safe, and while his other teammate was going to be there getting the brunt of all of the gunfight coming into 4X-Men? Either they didn't know that, or that was basically it, the sacrificial lamb. At least one of them needs to be alive. So either both of them go in, and basically the gamble is going to be both of them die because they're going to be preoccupied by both of those people just going away, right? But there's going to be that one thing where, yeah, we're going to be doing you as a sacrificial lamb, so at least one of us can go in for those placement points.
Well, still difficult decision, and yeah, probable that they need to sacrifice 1. But another thing that they can do, probably Phoenix can go in for distraction to let that 1 more member get away probably a little bit more. So it's probably I'm thinking it's a miscommunication from the side of Blacklist International, and well, they just have to wait because we still have 10 teams battling it out in here, and Fast Kill right now is just going in, dominating this area, and Do Easy right now slowly losing their members as Fast Kill right now. Yoon just healing up a little bit, but they are still 4-man strong. Blacklist International has been taken down. It is Wills in there eliminating the last member of Blacklist, and Fast Kill right now not slowing down. They are still going in for another fight for the hunt and going in for that push.
It's just not blacklisted. They're just ending out very early on. They were the 10th squad to be eliminated. The last match, they were at the 12th spot. So there's something going on here. I'm not quite sure what it is, but hopefully they get to pull through into the next few days. So a very strong team that we've been seeing here is definitely going to be that fast kill group, just because that team has been doing so well, not only at engaging, but to really just choose their gunfights really wisely.
Yeah, definitely. And this time we have Seth Squad right now trying to gatekeep 4X-Men in here. Surprisingly, 4X-Men lost their position in there and are now struggling to get in. With Seth Squad in here who might take down a few members for X-Men Export, this might be another end or a losing end for 4MX Export. But there you go. A few members has already been taken down. They might be picked up, but they might have difficulty getting back into the game. And there you go, just quickly, as we mentioned, they have been eliminated. It is Wills in there for the backstab who are able to go in for that elimination.
4X-Men had such a strong start, but then sadly, they weren't able to go in and prioritize that position. So this is what you need to do. In that late game, yes, you're going to be getting all of those kills, but the moment that you get those kills and you look into your minimap, the zone is going to be closing in on you, and I think 4X-Men just forgot that happened, and Zeth is going to be one person left. Blade is going to be the only guy left for his team to actually go and pull through. He needs to just play numbers. He needs to go and hide just because everyone else is going to be very strong. 3 people left here for Almighty, and ITX has a really great spot as well. But no, just as I said that, we see here Fastkill is going to be able to eliminate that whole squad.
Yeah, fast kill is a way to get a lot of kills, and Set Squad has been taken out in there. No, fast kill has a good position. Unfortunately, Almighty has already lost a few of the members, and JC is just struggling to get in. 0 kills at that point. But Wills right now is in here going in for the push, but no, they will be taken down or going against Argon right here. Now it's a 2-man from the side of Wills as Argon and Y right now trying to book them down one at a time. It's Pedro in there going in for the kill, but there goes Alforte for that hit. And will they be able to eliminate? No, it is Wills who goes down. Argon is still alive.
Heck yes, this is such a great end already into that side of a hill. Now, this is not going to be a very pretty final round just because of how many teams already eliminated. Almighty eliminated, and it just seems to be like we want to see that one win from Fast Kill already just because it's been so close for them to grasp, but it seems like Xbot is going to be able to go in for the backstab, but then was able to actually go and read that well. The blue ball is actually going to be able to go up, goes outside of the zone. No! That was so unfortunate, and he actually just went in there a little bit too aggressively, went outside of the zone and taking shots as well. I don't know why he did that. He could have just went into the left side and not be damaged by the zone.
Yeah, I mean, probably no more choice for him at that point. But this is 2 teams that we keep talking about. Metrics and Argon right now, who's just really doing well early on to the game. And I think they want to prove us that they have what it takes to be able to move up to the ranks. We have Mantai in here onto the left. We also have Argon on the other side, but will be taken down. Finally, Metrics in there going in for that booyah. MVP, Mantai in there with Green, OP, Cypher, Vic, and Xbot with this win.
What a talented bunch. They just absolutely went in there, guns a-blazing, and Metrics has been doing such a great job in this competition today in day 2. Yesterday, they couldn't really go and get a lot of those kills. They were at the very bottom of the pack, yeah, but then today they showed up. Not only did they win here in the Booyah, but they actually did such a good job in the past few matches as well. They've been pretty consistent.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's consistency, and it has been mentioned previously that some of the teams might just be holding back, and this is a chance for them to get back into the game. Speaking of getting back, let's check out with our host and let's see what they think about this match.
It's been a pretty rough day for teams in Group A. I'm gonna have to say that right now. I don't think anyone in Group A has secured a booyah today. Yeah,
I don't think we've seen that. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the biggest thing was the fact that, like, Bloody Head going into this, we had high expectations of them, and they have not shown up in, day one, day two. Day two, who has shown up? Argon Malaysia. I think that we've seen that this is a team that really had a lot of potential. We're seeing it now, getting top 2 right here. Pretty great stuff. I'm really happy to see this team really fighting back because they didn't have a great T1, but now they're back in business.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that some of the teams are picking up in Group A, but it's especially the performance for the past 2 days. I'm really starting to see this big black hole of weakness in Group A. We don't seem to have any major contenders outside of Argon and Y, and I mean, it seems like it's I hate to say it, it's like the feeding group, right? This is the group where everyone feeds off of. So what kind of a break are you going to get if you're in Group A?
Well, you talk about feeding, but the one team that hasn't taken advantage of this that's Blacklist, and they have done poorly throughout. They got a little bit better in terms of points this round, but I mean, I don't know what happened to them. They were top 3 going into day 2, and it seems like they maybe they got food poisoned. I don't really know, but we're seeing a little bit of an effect. But what are your thoughts on that one, Beef?
It's very disappointing to see Blacklist absolutely do such a great job yesterday and just falter today. And it's not even like they weren't even in the middle of the pack. They were either last place or at the very end of the list. So that's very surprising for me, knowing very well how well this group actually performs, not only here in MCP, but also in their qualifiers as well in Malaysia. So again, a lot of things into consideration here. I feel like they were just overwhelmed with how well the Group B actually did. So Group C was able to pull through in the last game, but hopefully today, in this last match that we have, they can actually go and finally get a booyah.
Actually, I wanted to ask Neptune a little bit about Blacklist as well. What do you feel like are factors that are contributing to their fall today? Because we're seeing a bit of a trend with them dropping out very early, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything with the performance. This is just me thinking outside of the box right now. They might be building a story. They made a good start on day 1, and probably too much of a good start. So they want to build a story. Yeah, probably go down a little bit, and then later on come back when it's a little bit too tight that we need to get to the top on the top 12. So that's a probability for them.
So you're basically saying they're playing with their food, right? In the sense that, yeah, we'll have a little bit of an off day, make things look like we're mortal and everything, and let people, psychologically, they're like, oh yeah, we got this team. But I don't know if that's the way to go in a battle royale. That doesn't seem like a long-term play, at least to me. All right, so checking the standings here, we saw metrics here with a meteoric rise in the sense that, they didn't have the booyahs and they got that one here. But Fastkill and Argon Malaysia, both of those teams really stepping up. Any surprises, at least from your end, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, we have been looking at Argon earlier, and right now, Metrics, who was like, they went into second place, and we saw the disappointment in there going against PXU Radicals and losing that 2v4. So this is where they come back, and I was expecting this, as Metrics is really hungry for this booyah. And the rest of the teams right now, well, Blacklist International, I already mentioned what I think about them, but for X-Men, for Expert, I'm quite surprised that they went in 8th on this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, they did seem to actually drop rather early. And is it a case of just some of these teams running into some really bad matchups? Is that mostly the case where some of these bigger teams are going down because you have 2 Titans going up against each other so early?
I'm wondering if you just drop someplace completely different, right? And just go off the grid, something like that. Just change it up. Because whatever you're doing right now, and I'm talking to the bottom teams, it's not really working, right? Something has not really been gelling today. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a lot of the teams have changed their strategies. We're seeing some of the teams that didn't do well really step up here. So I just think that teams need to just change it up, right? If the strategy's not working, you got to go back and you got to change something so that it makes a little bit more sense moving forward. But what are your thoughts on that, Beef?
Oh gosh, yes, that's me. But yeah, like you can actually say that probably one of the most unlucky teams and consistently second placer teams would be Fastkill. They're this close to always winning it, but for some reason it just doesn't happen. Either it be the circle's not in their favor or just something happens, because this team definitely is probably one of the most deserving teams to get that win. They just need to polish it up at the very end to win those really final gunfights. And comparing them right now to Blacklist International, I think is a very great comparison, where Fast Kill really went up in the ranks and Blacklist International just faltered. So they're a little bit on the opposite sides of the spectrum. So I feel like either one team does well and one team does terribly. So that's the kind of energy that they feed off of.
Right, team, so we've got one more map to go. It's going to be Bermuda, the vanilla map. This is a map that, honestly speaking, no one can really go wrong. The only thing that does go wrong is someone you don't want drops next to you. You path, unfortunately, into another team that you don't want to match up against. Thirdly, the circle doesn't go into your favor. Final match of the day, who are we putting our money on?
If I may answer that one first, I'm going to go with Argon, right? I've been riding this train from day one or day two. I thought that they could really step up here. I expect nothing but the best, but I'm sure everybody has differing opinions on that. Neptune, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen metrics move up already. Argon might be going in here as well, but we want, I want to see a lot more of Wheels in there, because they go into the engagement, but still not winning it. So we'll have to find out as we go in here into Bermuda. And guys, thank you very much once again to our beautiful and handsome host in there. But right now it's me, Neptune, and Beef Mami in here bringing you the final match of the game. This match number 6 in this group, A versus C. Now we want to ask you the question as well on the comment section for whatever you're watching right now. Who are you expecting to pop off in here? Because Beef, right now, I think you already have yours mindset on a team, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I've already said it before already, just a few moments ago. I think Fast Kill is in that upward trajectory to just probably get that booyah. And hopefully they're not going to be ending up with the second place yet again, because I'm pretty sure they've been second place for the longest time out of everyone else here. They've been consistently doing that second place. But hey, it's still going to be good just because you are going to be getting all of those placement points. But then, oh, so early on, Morgana's going to be getting some shots. Gets eliminated early on, and it's going to be so easy. Fast Kill already making their mark on their paper.
Yeah, I think they've heard you and they want to go in here for the win. And Morgana right now has been taken down from side of Bloody Heads. And Bloody Heads, another team who is really struggling from yesterday. Hopefully they'll be able to turn it around, especially some of the teams as well that was mentioned. Now, some had turned around probably not for the best, as we talked about Blacklist International in here. So I'm just hoping that I'm right, because if we talk about skills and probably nerves, they lost that into day 2. What more will happen on the upcoming game? So I'm just thinking that it's not the skills that they lost, it's not the accuracy, it's not everything that they need on this game. It's more of they're trying to psych out most of the teams in here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about that mental game, right? Apart from like the actual game itself. And I feel like we brought up this conversation a while ago with Blacklist, and this is why they faltered today. They kept making questionable pushes. And I don't think we were able to actually just touch up on that with the hosts, but we were able to talk about it a while ago. We weren't sure if they used that one member as bait just so one member can actually go away. Rather than push out as a duo, needed to have that distraction. So that didn't work out for them. And a lot of the times it doesn't work out. It's just like a new dawn. It's a new group, and they know what is going to happen. And all of these teams have studied everyone already so far, and that's why we're seeing such a shift in momentum in all of these teams right now.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of teams who really turned around at this point, and Wills in here was able to go in for the kill as well. But right now, they're backing off, so not a really good strategy at this point. But hopefully, they'll be able to turn it around and think wisely as to how to get back into the match. They got one kill already. They back off too early in this match, and we're missing 2 of the members from Wills right there. Now back to Seth squad, not really doing well into this game, but they are going against Metrics, who has had the motivation in there from the previous round, and they might be taken out early onto this game.
You know what, Zeth? Let me be your motivation. Just because they need it. They've been at the very end of the spectrum in terms of all of these points. But you know what? It's still going to be very well for them. They are at the 11th spot. That is not going to be comfortable because you want to stay in that top 12. And it's going to be that final circle going in there to actually get a lot of these points. And Zeth has always been eliminated at the very end or into the middle of the matchup. So that's one thing that I like to see, because Zeth doesn't usually get eliminated early on, unlike what we saw with Blacklist. They've been consistently in the middle of the pack. So that's something that they need to keep going. But at the end of the day, being a little bit too safe is not going to give you a lot of points to begin with. 11th place, that is not comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you need to have a little bit of leeway just in case you come into a day wherein everything just went all wrong. So they need to have a little bit of leeway for failure and still on the top 12 of this lineup. But well, we'll have to find out. We'll have to find out. There's a lot of changes in here from this game, and these are the teams. Now, the reason why we're calling out those at the bottom or those in the middle or those who are not really moving up and down into the leaderboard is because we just want you to give us a great show, because the more great battles engagement that we have in here being shown to us is the more exciting that we go as a shoutcasters. Would you agree, Beef?
Yeah, exactly. And it's all these teams, it's all these players. They are the reason why that we are going to be shoutcasting here so well. And the observers are going to be giving us the hot action that we deserve. And speaking of the hot action, Almighty almost getting a lot of those kills, and Jay-Z really applying that pressure to that one vehicle. But then sadly, that might have been a little bit detrimental on their end just because they gave away their position. And knowing very well that you are not going to be able to actually get that vehicle to explode from that far away, it's a good thing that there's not a squad near them here in Peak.
Yeah, I mean, Almighty is a little bit too predictable when they're landing. I know they will be going into peak, especially when they're in Bermuda. It's a good thing that no one is contesting that from them. That might have been an easy kill. But right now, speaking of kill, we have Almighty right now trying to go against Enigmax right here. And there's one member from the far side. Oh, the push in there on the vehicle and the takedown by Batman. And we have the rest of the teams. Jay-Z right now going in against Black, and Ren right now going for the push from this side. Almighty right here popping up, going in for those hits for that last member of Enigmax, Slumber 2 right there, trying to back up. Hopefully he will be able to get away, otherwise their teams will be eliminated from this match. Batman is already out, but here comes Blacklist International up for Vlad. They want to go in for those kills and probably get back into the game, B.
And here we go, Blacklist International with the after party, always giving the teams that third party control. And it's going to be very difficult right now for Almighty to actually go in there and go for that push, just because they only have 3 people left in their team. But Blacklist seem to be like they want to go and barge in unattended, unannounced, and they've been doing so well because they're angry. They want to do well. They've been doing so bad in the past 2 games that they're in that they want to come for blood. They're coming for money, and there's going to be one person left in their team that can actually do something about it. Jay-Z, 2 kills already. Red needs to go in for a kill as well. He needs to do well and also get a lot of those kills.
I'm quite surprised how Blacklist International is moving right now. They are going in for the kills, but speaking of kills, we have Enigmax in here, the final member being taken down by Wheels in here, and that will be the second kill for Wheels at this point. Now, going back to Blacklist International, earlier we called them out that they are not performing to the full extent, and I mentioned that they might be holding back, and this time I think they heard me, and I think our tactic has been revealed, and we like to show that they are not doing that, so they are popping up right now. And that's just me being the devil's advocate. But speaking of which, we have Argon right now, another team that we want to see pop off going against ITX, who's not very lucky at this game. Hopefully we'll see a lot more of these teams, but this is the last chance for today, so Argon will be in here being taken down Pedro with only 2 members left, and X2R might be going down. Sparks right now in head-to-head. Argon will be taken down. ITX will still be alive.
Tactical Index doing a great job, and they were able to actually go in there for the pickup as well. This is a great start. They were able to eliminate Argon, and that was your bet, Neptune, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Argon in there, I want to see them pop off. But ITX right now, another team that I like to see. I mean, those at the bottom right here of our list, we just want them to move up a little bit, tie to tie onto the game and give us a good matchup into the scores.
A good matchup indeed is what we deserve, and this is what we're getting. MTX, Metrix is going to be able to have one person down though. Shafiq is going to be able to take some shots, but then he's going to be responding as well. But no, he's going to be taken down, and just like that, MTX, Metrix is going to be going 1-1. It's going to be Manchai is going to be the only person left here for his team. The only hope, but then it's not going to be easy for him. As we see here, another squad is going to be right above him.
Yeah, I mean, another squad will be above them. Blacklist International has just decimated them, and Manchai needs to survive or probably just get away from this area to be able to get a good placement. But Set Squad will be on his way, and as well as Do Easy on the other side. So he's in the middle of a lot of teams right now, and I don't think this is a good position for him because there's a team from above and an easy nade for Manchai just in case he got spotted.
You already know that once you go up in that tower, it's going to be game over. But hey, if you're the only person left in your team, then maybe it's okay. Because if you put your whole squad in that little tower, best believe 2 grenades, you're done for. So the fact that he's only going to be hiding there as one person, that's okay. Because everyone else is going to be preoccupied by all of the squads already pushing into the circle.
Yeah, I mean, Do Easy right now already popping off. They want to move in onto this match. Though this is the last chance that they have, they might have done that, or they should have done that earlier into this game. But yep, late is better than never. So hopefully we'll see more of Do Easy at this point because there's a lot of potential as well as hopes for Do Easy at this point.
Do Easy, they've always been struggling, but they had highlights. Highlights that are actually going to be so impressive, but hopefully they get to have that more here in this final circle. They do have still 4 members left for them, and it's not going to be easy. That's not going to be easy just because everyone else is going to be left here. You can see here, 4 X-Men, Blacklist International, and Wills are still alive. And also as well as Fastkill. You know these teams really want to pull through just because they haven't had a win yet here in this particular day though.
Yeah, I mean, another team that doesn't have, well, there's a lot of teams that hasn't had a win just yet, but some who got too close for a win. Well, hopefully we'll see more of this team. Set Squad is in here, though they have a chance to go in for those elimination, but they chose to go for the placement and a little bit too passive at this point. Now, the problem for passiveness, especially late into this day, is you've lost your opportunity to move up to the rankings, and you will be getting used to being passive and just going for the placement points, and your skills might not be practiced that much, especially on this part of the competition. Day 1 usually is a warm-up, as mentioned by Holler earlier, and day 2 is where you prove that the warm-up really works. So hopefully those teams had already got a feel of what's happening within the game and was able to adjust. But for some of the teams, I don't think that's the case.
You know what? You're absolutely right with the point that you made, that if you are going to be making like the same play over and over again, and we saw that with SAF, like they were able to go in there for that first booyah, right? They went in for the passive play, went into that circle, prioritized positioning, but they did the same thing in the last 4 maps that they played, and that did not work out for them just because they did the same thing. Everyone already knew that they were going to be a little bit more passive, and it just goes to show that Saf is really good at positions, but when it comes to the aggression, PXG Radicals just blew them out of the roof. And now we're going to be seeing the same thing happen over here for X-Men's, usually that type of team that will rush into you and have that gameplay as well. But then they need to actually be a little bit more unpredictable here just because they do a lot of damage early game, but in the late game, that's when they struggle just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, being dynamic onto the gameplay as well as how fluid you can go onto these games. Like if you lost one, there's a plan B. If you lost two of your members, a plan C, and up until plan Z or Z if possible. But here we go. We have Wales right now. This is a good spot for them as they go in against Fastkill. They've already exploded that vehicle and one has been taken down already. Now, will the wall prove as a better cover for Fastkill right now, or will they be eliminated as this is Ember Lord Accuracy King from Wales is here for that takedown. Now backing off a little bit, not letting them get that position. Will be backing off and probably getting a few more loots before they go back into play.
Very smart push by Wheels, just getting a bunch of kills and just applying that pressure off to the side of Fastkill and then going in for the movement. And this is what we like to see here. Just because they're only going in here just because they want to go in for that early rotation, going into that circle, right? But then they still was able to get the kill. And 4X Men is going to be that team that's already going in there into the circle, but Rybel is going to be in trouble. Gets taken out right now by Embalor nonetheless. Ooh, Embalor is absolutely popping off already with the sniper, and we keep talking about him a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, Embalor in here, and if I'm not mistaken, they're in the same spot previously. They love the bridges in there. Wills love the bridges in there, and Embalor on a sniper. Ooh, he will be on fire. But speaking of fire right now, we have in there Embalor still going in for the kill against Do Easy. But 4X is in here. They need to get a lot of kills. They can take a knockdown, but not really eliminating a team member from the opposing team. They need to get those kills as they have a good position already.
Ooh, but then you can see here the response. Bloodyhead's Mark is going to be able to take down one. Not quite sure if he was actually able to go in for the kill as well, but we'll see it later on. Ala Fourth, though, is going to be able to actually go in and take out Blade, so that's big kills for them already. Will seems to be like they want to win this one, but then we're going to be seeing a gunfight ensuing right now. It's going to be such an amazing kill. Jembao is going to be going out already. Do Easy's not going to be having an easy time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure where the rest of the teams. I think Jembal is in solo in there. He's just waiting for anyone to peek in and just jump in there for the kill against Luizy. Now, we have Wheels in there on the top of the bridge. Like we mentioned, they love the bridges because they have a good vantage point at this point. It's not too high, though, but they have a good look from afar. And there you go. We have Limit in there trying to gatekeep some of the teams in here, but Sapno will be able to get in. Almighty will be eliminated. And yes, I had that right. JC is the only one remaining for Almighty, but Set Squad also taken down. We are now left to 8.
Take a look at this final circle. It's all in the favor right now of Wheels. If Wheels drops the ball, I don't even know what's going to happen anymore, because just like that, you can actually try to throw a grenade, but then you just can't do it from that far away. Metrics is going to be eliminated already. Quadra kill in play. It's going to be so hard for them to go in for the push just because of how well Wheels is going to be able to actually go in for the defense. They just need to chill out. They need to let all of these teams just do their job, eliminate every single one of them, and then go in for that vulture, sweep down, get those kills at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, despite where they will be ending up on that bridge, if just they hold that, they have an exit strategy from this. There I go again. They have an exit in there from either side, but here we go. We have Do Easy right now, not exiting that swiftly as we have one member remaining. Now, Will's in here still on the lookout. They have the wall in there, and like what I mentioned, an exit for either left or right in there, but Embalor taking those kills, and Fast Kill MY will be eliminated by a different team, but Embalor is still at it for this snipe hit.
How many squads did Embalor take out already? This is absolutely crazy. But there's going to be one squad right underneath that edge of the bridge. They need to go in for the push. They actually left their position, which is going to be very surprising. They went in for that top half. The hill is going to be occupied right now by Wills. And it's all up to 4X to actually go in there for the contest. But no, Goku's going to be going down. Spade is going to be the only person left that can actually do a difference. Does be able to pick up, though. Blacklist International is going to be eliminated as well. It's going to be this squad, Wills versus 4X Men. That's going to be the only squads left here. There's going to be one thing, one fence. It's going to be 4X Men eliminated. And just like that, Wills with a second booyah for their name. Absolutely crazy. Embalor popping off and getting rid of every single one of the squads that comes his way.
Oh my god, Will's in there with Limit Lay Embalore. We have Monmon Alforte and a Yogi in there just popping off in the final game, just showing us that they have what it takes to take this Booyah as well as surprising us with all those hits. What a great team in here. As you can see, they're having fun. As you can see, one member here, not quite sure what's on his head right now, but they are having fun in here apart from just taking the win, Beef.
That was just greatness. That push going into the bridge. Everything was set up for them. No one was going to be coming in from the back. They all just had to worry about the north, the northeast, the northwest. That's about it. But you know what? I'm pretty sure the hosts have so much to say already. So let's bring it on back, production, just because let's have this conversation.
There is a lot to cover, actually, and especially that late game. I was just watching heads popping. I think everyone was basically right. Like Embalor just going off, popping heads, and they couldn't do no one could do anything about it because they had such a good vantage point going into that late game. They got the bridge, the circle was in their favor. I mean, what do you do in that situation? You just hope he misses?
Sometimes the RNG gods just bless you, right? Embalor, clearly a master of the sniper rifle with at least 8 kills. I lost track, to be honest. I couldn't tell at the very end. But I'm pretty sure we'll get a tally on that. But Embalor, clear MVP on this one. Just in the sniper post, nobody could get to him. I mean, even the circle was great. The terrain was very helpful to him. I mean, if he's not hitting his shots, man, that's like the one opportunity you need to step up. And Embalor just paid off with spades with that one. Very well played by him. And but Neptune, any other team that really stuck out to you other than this Woos team?
Yeah, I mean, well, Will's in there, ITX as well. They went against Argon and was able to eliminate Argon in there. Argon is just popping off. They are popping off today, but ITX just, hey, you have to stop right now. We just want a little bit of a highlight at this point.
It seems to be a trend, right? You have a team that does horribly during the first round, and then they have 2 fantastic games, and then it's like, okay, you're done, stop. It's like, they put the brakes on. Of course, it's not them putting the brakes on, it's someone else, but I mean, if anything, we're still pretty happy to see Argon play rather well today, even though they had a pretty terrible final game. It's going to add points, much needed points to them as well, considering that they're probably the only team from Group A that's got some chance of making it to the top 12.
And we're gonna see it. I mean, we saw 2 days of matches, and we're gonna see what teams are the most consistent, right? Supreme of Air Force is really up there. Blacklist, not the greatest of days, not the most consistent, but they're gonna kind of mellow out somewhere in the middle. And maybe they do play, possum for now, as per Neptune's psychological warfare of just playing it like they're not very good. But it's gonna be interesting to see just how teams kind of proceed with this league, because we have 10 more days after today. And so there's plenty of opportunities to really step up or to step down, as per what you said, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a chance for you to show them that you're not that good enough. So if you see our name on the kill feed, just come over and try to kill us, and then we just turn it around.
Beef, I just want to ask. So for the past 2 matches, so we know that 4X-Men, they're the closest team to potentially take that first spot away from Supreme Assault Forces. Do you think they got the 40 points?
No, they didn't get that. Because yes, they got a lot of the placement points in that. They did get that 2nd place, but in the last matchup, they actually got like 4 points because they placed 8th. So that's not going to be a lot of points already, just like really counting it out. So again, there's going to be a lot of points already for the side of Wills to get. And I think one point that I really want to make clear is just like, you're going to be seeing these teams that have star players that if they pop off, like Wills, like Embalor, and for the side of Bloody Heads, that'd be like Morgana. If they pop off, they can basically bring it to the point where they can get booyahs and get those kills as well. So I think that's a lesson learned from all of these teams, where it's not just about that one person, because you need to be consistent. It is going to be that team game, right? That everyone needs to do well. Everyone needs to do that contribution. And if your teammate pops off, yeah, you go support them. But make sure that in the other games as well, in the next few days, that you as a team will be really good.
So I want to have a bit of a group discussion here. Sorry to cut you off there, Hauler. I want to ask you this first, actually. So from just week 1, we're already starting to see a semblance of the teams that are basically dominating in the groups. Group A, the closest thing we have really is Argon and Y. Group B, we've got a couple of teams. Group C, we've got a whole bunch of teams. Supreme Assault Forces right now, they are currently leading in terms of points. Do you feel that they have so many of these points because of how the groups are organized?
I'm gonna say no.
No?
I don't think so, because it's at the end of the day you're gonna play everyone else, right? And if I feel like okay, let's just say I'm in Team A and I'm Supreme Air Forces, I have 5 other teams that are really not that top tier, right? So it would be much easier if I was in that group. But they're in Group B, which is, let's be honest, it's not the worst of the worst. They still have some pretty good teams in there, but it just tends to be like Group C is just murderous row, where there's very good team after good team after good team. And they're going to have the hardest time, really showing themselves up and shining in this league.
Beef, what about you? What do you think?
I actually think that Group B is so much better today than yesterday. So I think they're an even playing field, Group B and C. So A needs to really catch up, like what you said. It's really just Argon that's really pulling through for their team. But B, we have the top 2 teams coming in from B. We got PXG Radicals, you have SAF as well. And Wills is basically going to be coming out for Group C. Blacklist International just went down so many tiers already. So one team that I definitely have noticed that has been a little bit more consistent for Group C was definitely be 4X-Men. Even Fastkill has been struggling to be consistent. So definitely a group that has been consistent, Group B for sure.
Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about SAF and how far they went in, I'm not thinking it's the groupings. It's just the performance of each group going against. Probably it's not SAF who's winning because of that. Some of the teams are losing because of the groupings, and if they are not going in against a team like PXG Radicals early on, or like what happened earlier, PXG Radicals, if they have been taken out early and not going against SAF, then there might be a chance for SAF to pop off, or other way around. There's also Blacklist International. If there was a chance for them to take them, or Blacklist International take them out, take out SAF in there, then it will be even field for some of the teams. So still a lot of surprises that has been coming on despite of all the games and all the matches from each group and each team, all the changes with them. I still couldn't read that much on specifics.
Okay.
And even if the groups, you might get placed in a somewhat weaker one, or you feel like it's you have a less of a chance, so to speak. We do have a rejig halfway through the league. We're going to be changing up the groups, so it's just a matter of if that might happen. We'll see if in the second half and see how teams do really change up their how they play better, or they score more points. We're gonna have to find out, right? We still have yet to see that.
All right, fair. Do you have anything you want to ask, Paula?
No, not at the moment. I mean, I think it's just a matter of these highlights, right? Just watching the Embalor highlight train. I think it's just a matter of who's going to be clipping this, who's going to be saving this here, because he was pretty much just killing everything here. It was very impressive by him. But I think in terms of the standings, Woos really stepped up, right? Yes. 13 kills, 25 points, right at the top. 4X-Men. We talked about consistency all day today, and they're going to be very consistent with that. But Blacklist, this is pretty surprising, right? Yeah, they were in 8th, they got 8 placement points, but they got 5 kills as well, and that really helped them close off the day of a disastrous day too for them.
Yeah, I have to say this weekend it's been a lot of Filipino domination. The Filipino teams, they might be weak in numbers, but oh my god, they're doing well in terms of points.
It's quality over quantity, right?
Actually, I want to ask our 2 casters this. I'm not sure if Beef or Neptune wants to go first, but why do you feel the Filipino teams are dominating so far? Is it their general play style? Do you feel maybe the teams are just stronger in general? Like, what makes them so strong over the Malaysian teams thus far?
Go ahead, Neptune. You go, take it.
Okay. Well, probably it's more of the communication. There's like earlier during the cast, Beef mentioned a term in Filipino, in Tagalog, and that is normal across everyone. And those slang, those words, those communication that you use with everyone else, it's so general that it's easy to give out a command or probably a signal to some of the teams. Another thing is flexibility. There's a lot of things that has been happening in the Philippines, but yet we are flexible enough to adapt. That might be another factor. So there's a lot of things, and I'm not just talking about the Philippines. There's a lot of countries as well doing the same, but I think these teams know that, and they're just applying what they got from real life into the game.
So you talk about communication, you talk about, you know, the other factors that might happen as well, but is it the food? Because we're seeing a lot of consistency in just how they're just tearing it up. I mean, Supreme Assault Force has just been on fire all day today. Woos has really stepped up big. I mean, it's got to be the food, right?
Oh, come on.
I mean, I was about to say it's the adobo. It's really the adobo, that, you know, really yummy dish that we usually have to power up all of our players.
Excellent.
Malaysia
I knew it was
has
something.
pretty good food too, not gonna lie.
But clearly not as good. That's what I'm just trying to say, right?
I don't know, I could argue. I mean, both places have really good food. I'm a food connoisseur myself. I'm kidding. But they're both delicious. Both delicious countries.
I mean, I think they just need to power up with some of their food just to kind of help them out as we go into day 3, which is going to be starting next week on Saturday.
Yes.
So we have a lot more games ahead of us, and I'm really looking forward to this. But here's the overall standings. Supreme Assault Forces, Radicals, Woos as 4th, but 4X-Men, they snuck their way in the top 3 here. Pretty big step up from them.
Yeah, I mean, they did have a pretty good, a couple of pretty good rounds, so I'm not surprised that 4X-Men are up here. But to see PXG Radicals and Supreme Assault Forces still maintain their top 2 placing, I think that's a little bit of a surprise, right? Because we're talking about how strong Group C is, but then it seems that so far Group B have been the ones to be really reaping in the rewards. Like, why is that? I
will let Neptune answer that.
Well, I really couldn't tell as to what the groupings are, but I don't know, but probably it's more of the confidence that they know already. With these groupings, they know already who to target. If they see them in a kill feed, yeah, let's go over and push this. If they see, say, another team, let's back off a little bit. And that is part of psychological. I think that's how some of the teams are playing this game as well. Some are in there, oh, I don't want to be on top because I don't want to be a threat. And then the other teams can be easy prey for us. So that's one thing that they can do. Some of them are just going in for those engagements and finishing them off, and then yeah, the moment that you see us on the kill feed, just go away. Otherwise, you'll be taken out.
Beef, do you have anything to add?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I have like one answer to that, and it's for the side of PXG Radicals. The reason why we actually saw them, I think, is the fact that they do well in Purgatory, and Kalahari is probably one of their weaker maps. And the fact that we saw a really good gameplay here for them for the side of Purgatory, they usually have like a lot of kills here already. So it's not really surprising to me that this is one of their better maps. So that's gonna be different though. If we have Kalahari back again, that might be a different option. But you know. This is not surprising to me just because of how well PXG Radicals does in this particular map.
And if we're looking at Supreme Assault Forces and PXG, top 2 right there, but they've been feeding on some of their bottom feeders in their own group, and Umbrella and Cannot X-Brain, right? So it seems like there's a bit of a high and low on that one. Group B is kind of just mellowing out somewhere in the middle, but they did get a ton of kills. All right. So, any final words from the casters or Danny?
I'm gonna let the casters talk because I seem to talk too much.
Oh, not even. I mean, technically, that's our job, right?
Beef, why don't you go ahead this one?
Okay, well, that was such an amazing day 2. We did not expect this at all. There were a lot more upsets, but then I feel like we got to see the silver lining into things. We saw a bunch of people from the bottom, a bunch of teams that were struggling in day 1, really just pop up in day 2. Maybe it's because of the fact that we added in Purgatory, or maybe it's the fact that they were able to gain that confidence, watch day 1, and really came up with like a lot of really beautiful plays. And what a way to actually end the round, and having that really amazing win, Embolor just popping off. That was like the cherry on top of this whole amazing day 2 pie.
All right.
Yeah, huge highlight reel for him, and it's going to be very exciting just moving forward. He's going to take that one. He's going to show it to everyone, post it on social media everywhere to just him just popping off. Everyone's going to know his name, but he's going to continue into day 3 and day 4, which is going to be next weekend. Same time, same place. My name is Haller. This is Danny, Neptune, and of course Beef Mommy, and we've just had a great time, and it's been a pleasure being able to just stick with you. But we do have one last giveaway that's going to be gone, and of course for your skins, feel free to put in that code. Make sure that you do score it in. The stream is going to be ending, so we're just trying to prolong it to make sure that you do get that that code, which is happening right here. It's going to be MCPHP. Just continue that on and just copy and paste it. Make sure your friends, your squad mates, put it into the app as quickly as possible. Make sure you do redeem those skins.
All right.
I'm doing it right now. I'm applying the code right now as we speak. I didn't have enough time during our break.
One-handed.
One-handed. It's okay.
Oh yeah, I'm going to go and screenshot this.
That's a good idea. I would screenshot it too.
Yeah, let's go. Well, for those of you who watch right now, thank you very much. And for the teams in here, for the teams who are in here, we have Beef who did mention a good stuff for the teams, and I would like to tell everyone as well, for those at the bottom of the leaderboard, we're still expecting you to move up. For the teams who are watching, we're still expecting you to move up. For those of you who are trying to play us psychologically, don't worry, I'm here. I'm thinking a little bit ahead of you, and I think it happened earlier. They tried to change it a little bit, but didn't work that much. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of eyes on you right now, and this is your chance to show us what you have, or probably not show us everything just yet, because there's a lot of days in here wherein you can play and just get the top 12 to go to the finals.
We're just getting started. It's just week 1, guys. Don't panic. We're going to see a lot more crazy stuff. I'm still waiting for someone to go in with the crazy grenade launcher action. There's always one team that does it every single time, right? And I'm going to put my money on Wheels. I think Wheels is going to do it. Wheels going to somehow find a grenade launcher for Emberlaw, and they're just going to go crazy. Actually, if it happens, make me eat a sock, please.
All right, we're going to have to clip that one. Make sure that you do eat that sock in the event that it happens, and I'm looking forward to that. And it's the rest of the MCP League Season 2. This is just day 2. We've got 10 other days we're going to be here. My name is Holler. This is Danny, Neptune, and Beef Mommy, and we are going to be signing out, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Tonight, we were born for this fight. We'll be glorious tonight. We are
champions. We'll be warriors tonight, and like warriors we'll fight. We'll be victorious tonight. We are champions. We're champions tonight. We're born for this fight. We'll be glorious tonight. We are champions.
Absolutely bombed and taken out by MS-25. That's 2 down for AB Sligers, and their aggression has not really paid off, as now they will get overwhelmed by the members of Freedom Rumble. Your boy was going to be the third one on chopping block. Comstars get down as Arpav will take Red Panda down. Your boy was the last man alive, and it seems like Freedom Rumble will be forfeited for sure. Shaw's trying to help out, but this is going to run into 3 different crosssets.
Run,
That
my
is
boy.
not good for Shaw. They're going to try and gun them down. In fact, they will. Shaw's a down, MS-25 picks
XO.
up, and now MS-25 pushes on forward XL with the third one, and Shot will be eliminated. Catch up to Geek Fam. Can they do it? They got one down. Calls at the window. They're rushing in. They're gonna take out Cobb. Dress goes for a rotation, but he takes himself out. Cobb's down. Freedom! This is it. AKO. Not gonna make it. Back to International. They haven't seen it yet, but now they do. Mr. D trying to survive this one versus 2. Turns the rock.
Oh, wow!
Takes out both the all-barrel explosions.
As well as Isaac, but we've seen this duo moving, and Dooeasy gets eliminated, and Balore goes in for the Black Cobra, and it looks like the Blacklist International are gonna be on a handicap as well. But Divinity, look at them, trapped all there in that hut, all alone. They have got their friends in there for the support, and even Geek Fam can't take them out just yet. Whiteface knocked down by the play zone, but they are still going in here for the final battle. Happy! But he doesn't get taken down. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Isaac goes in here for the wipe. Divinity still standing up. Guns are on the knock right now. Husky Pandemonium.
Geek Fam on a roll. They might just get this. His views is already out. Divinity not gonna survive. Batman is still there. Geek Fam with 2 men left to right. Fast Group and my Blacklist International about to get eliminated as Geek Fam continues to survive. The Kings have returned. And Geek Fam nails their first booyah of the grand.
It's time to watch the MCP Major Season